Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Talent League R6. We are joined for a wonderful minor league game between Team Invictum and Goldinis. And well, I'm Golly Molu, and I'm joined, as always, by the wonderful Pyro R6.
Hello.
And well, we've had some interesting days today. It's Thursday. Sometimes that means you have obligations such as schoolwork to do, and well, that is definitely the case for both of us. But now we get to kick back, take off our shoes, enjoy, relax to the wonderful tunes of some lovely R6 gameplay from two lovely teams in the minor. And Pyro, what are your thoughts coming into this one?
It's going to be fun. Goldinis obviously towards the top end of the league.
Yeah.
I'm looking for them to win. I think they have a very strong chance. Obviously, Team Invictum being towards the bottom end, but they did have a massive roster change coming in. I think it was it last week, Golo, if I remember.
Yeah, and we can actually throw to the standings that you at home can see what we can see and kind of get a feeling for where these teams have
Yeah.
filed out as the league is developing. Only three games played for all of these teams, and so you're playing best of ones. I mean, it is just three maps total played. Some of them games earlier in the week mean that some teams have played a little bit more because this is the last minor game for the week. And well, yeah, like you say, Invictum down there in eighth place, whereas Goldini still chilling at the top of the standings. I think Nerf Mine actually won their game out yesterday, and so that
They
means
drew it, I
they
think it
they
was.
drew it. Okay, so
Yeah.
if Goldinis can win, then they will take the lead ahead. They'll obviously go straight clear to the top. But well, we have to see if they can do it. You said though that you feel like that they can take it. See what
Yeah.
the schedule for the week is looking like though. Very quickly, as you just walk us through. Why do you think Goldinis take this one?
I just think that they're a much better team from the games that I've actually seen personally. I mean, I've
Hmm.
cast a few Goldinis games. I know Cox is a good player, a good IGL. And I think they will definitely take it. But as you can see on the actual schedule here, the game today, game two, Invictum Goldinis, and then tomorrow we've got Guardians Alpha and Aura, and that is casted by me and Golu here again. So you have to enjoy our faces tomorrow as well. What
Mm,
fortune! But
yeah,
going on to
absolute
that,
treat.
yeah, I definitely agree with the fact that Goldinis might take this one. Although there has been some upsets. I mean, last week there was a couple of upsetting
Yeah.
results coming in, so it could go any way. Go.
Well, you think Goldini's take list. Let's see what the rest of our staff thinks. We'll throw up the staff vote, and I mean, you're expecting this to be Goldini's favoured, right? As the division leaders, but 87% in favour of Goldini's, 13 for Invictum. I mean, look, it shouldn't be quite that one-sided, I don't think, but maybe that's fair enough, right? Invictum bringing in a new roster. They've had some changes recently with a couple of players leaving, having to bring in replacements. Goldini's on a bit of a hot streak, so that
Definitely, definitely.
does make sense.
It's that mystery with the roster changes, isn't it? You can't
Hmm,
trust them yet. You need to see Wiz one game. So maybe next week we'll start seeing Victim taking a few more games. But
possibly.
on about the games day and towards the map bans here, we are going to be playing. Can I have a drum roll, please, Golu? And it's
Ooh,
Villa. Woo! I actually
not
love
bad.
Villa. I like Villa over some of these maps. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm a Villa enjoyer, and I think that there's a lot of interesting options for teams to kind of feel out and see how they want to play it. The strategies that can be employed are always fun to see as teams, whether they go for very long extended holds horizontally, which sites they prefer. I, I doubt we will see it, but it's always exciting when you do get to see that living lounge or living library take site come out. That's always good fun to see teams try and pull off. Don't think it's very likely just because it is
No, no,
quite
no.
weak. But the other three sites all have a lot of playability, and the attackers can really control a lot of how they want to go for it. There's options for both teams, which makes for lovely games of R6.
It's quite linear for the attacking side, isn't it? You always push from the other side of the map. You never really see much change unless it isn't working out for your team. So it's going to be, in that sense, from the attacking side, quite a boring map tactically here. But as I think you said there for Dining Room, maybe we could see. I hope there are some new strats here, but I very much doubt it, Golu.
I mean, you say that there's options, right? Because you can focus on that master bedroom. For example, on the aviator site, right? You take across from master bedroom, you clear out to landing, and you go for that standard plant behind the vault. There's also the
Mm-hmm.
mainstays take, which we've seen teams, especially within Talent League, really try to bring forward and really try to make work. And You know what? I wouldn't put it past these teams to give it a go and to be able to pull it off successfully. It's slightly different and it involves around investing that utility on the top of main stairs to clear out that position. Well,
Oof.
the first band's going to be Thatcher. Nothing unexpected, right? Invictum on the
Oh yeah,
defensive side
definitely.
first. Just want to make sure you can't get rid of any wall denial that they potentially have. Maybe they want to sneak some Cade claws on the tricky surfaces. Some Jackal from Goldinis just to try and, well, I guess enable this roam game a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when you have all the only thing with that is you have a lot of claymores. You still have Nomad on the board, so there is still a lot of potential to, as you said, roam. But there is some dangers going on that side. Valkyrie's a pretty standard ban here, Golu. Very powerful on this map. A lot of soft destructibility going from the top floor down towards the bottom floor here. And the last ban we would see, probably a Cade ban here or a mirror ban is what I'm thinking, Golu. Yeah, the mirror ban. What we
Yep.
see there, pretty standard bans here for Villa.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's at
We're not
all
too
uncommon,
surprised, are
right?
we?
Yeah,
No.
you're looking at these bands. They're what you'd expect to see coming out. Valkyrie makes too much sense on Villa. Mira has some interesting options, right? Specifically around these top floor sites where you can set up those mirror windows on the statue wall, for example. You leave the
Triple wall.
left panel
Yep.
soft. You can see down to that walk-in closet if people jump in. You can see out onto the bedroom windows. And it gives you a lot of presence, a lot of control over where the attack can then divert their attention. I mean, obviously, the aviator setups are classic mirror windows. Everyone knows them, everyone fears them, and they're, there's always vertical options in Siege, but sometimes it's easier just to not have to worry about them at all. Just completely ignore and circumvent them, and that's what that ban does. It does mean that that Cade is available, though, Pyro, and I'd be interested to see what Invictum make of it first of all. I mean, there's the classic one where you throw it around the corner on the vault door and it catches that vault wall. It can be quite hard to deal with.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting places for the Cade. Obviously, you can't really use it towards these double walls and the single wall you see there because of the destructibility coming from the bottom floor. There's always a risk of playing Cade on this site. Maybe you can put him from below, but the fact that we see from Goldinis here, the, the 6 grenades currently, Golo, that can come out on the way of Goldinis. So I think the Cades will be gotten rid of here, but they have to be careful of that top main shield.
Yeah, and this lineup coming out from the attack is very flexible. There's no operator which pigeonholes themselves into one specific purpose. And they've got plenty of projectiles, like you mentioned, the frag grenades as well, to deal with any issues that come their way. Good drone positioning is going to spot that Thunderbird out very early on. They'll start to find a way to pin down Hedgehog here, who has that opening we talked about. Sometimes you have a mirror window to enable it. Sometimes you don't need
Yeah,
it.
the opening's fine,
Hedgehog,
just
though,
by itself.
yeah, he's just gonna fall back. He's just gonna play that clock and wait a little bit longer. He does have that Jaeger now for some extra support, though, Jamie. So this could help him out.
Yeah, playing on concrete is a very much a power position there, but he has been droned out. He's going to push it and gets the first frag there. That's Bum off the board. That's the Yana gone down. And he's just going to rotate back towards the bottom floor here, taking a free pick. But Goldinis have to watch out now. They're going to take a lot more time trying to push in and get some sort of map control. That was so close to a headshot there, Golu. Sorkray nearly taking off Fallen's head there. And he's just retreated back towards that zombie door there.
Yeah, Crystal has to be a little bit careful on that window. It is a good option to try, deny any rotations, deny any of these aggressive plays from the defense. But I think now that Invictum have this control of statue, have the control of trophy, when they just start to pinch a little bit of pressure onto landing, we will see that Jaeger start to fall back if they can. The drone will spot them out, and they're actually going to get aggressive here. Look for a cheeky angle to try and catch someone out. The damage they're taking back is a lot higher. They will drop to those Kona stations, though, and, well, getting up that healing. The Thunderbird, brilliant to keep you alive and just sustain you through the round. There's just under half the round left to play with here for the attack, and, well, Crystal's going to land the headshot onto Hedgehog, bring back that man advantage, and they're at 4 members apiece. Make that 3 for the defense now as Last Killer able to get a pick onto the smoke as well. None of these gas charges, none of these toxic babes for the plant. It's a big deal for Invictum here. Opens a bit more of a window for Goldinis.
Oh, Fallen gets a beautiful kill onto Scorps. It's a 4 versus 2. They've managed to change this round for the better here. Jaeger's going to get even more aggressive there. Just get the kill onto Cox. This Jaeger's just being super aggressive. He gets a double kill. What is he doing? The attack from Goldinis is just absolutely crumbling here, Golan. Fallen doesn't realise there's any sort of vertical holes here, some prone holes. He's just going to try and push in behind the bar. He knows where the last two people are remaining, but no, Zork gets the kill. What was that? A 4? That was a 3K on the round, wasn't
It
it,
was
for
a
the Jaeger?
quadra kill. Got
Quadra.
that
I was going
opening
to
pick
say
as
that
well.
4K, yeah.
2 on landing. There's nothing that this man cannot do when he's got that 416C in hand. And, well, you said it yourself, right? Goldinis looked like they were in a very commanding position of that round. A 4 versus 2. But it didn't
Yeah.
matter. They weren't able to push together. They kept giving these one-on-one gunfights to Zorakai. And, well, you saw what happened. He won them.
I don't like. Goldinis definitely had the advantage. They pulled back from that early aggression. I think what actually changed that round there was that Thunderbird, allowing the Jaeger of Sakurai here to be that aggressive and get the free kills. Definitely changed that round, I think, Golu.
Yeah, I mean,
It enabled a lot of his aggressive plays, definitely.
Yeah, Kona stations are great, right? You just get that extra boost, you get your 25, is it, HP back?
Yeah,
and you
20,
just,
yes.
I mean, you use it multiple times, right? You just absorb it every time. It's brilliant. 30-second charge, and if Hedgehog had gone and picked it up, it would have gone down to a 5-second recharge time, which is a nice little trick you can do if you get very low. Sometimes you'll even see Thunderbirds, not too often, because it's a little bit more risky. You can keep one of those Kona stations in pocket, drop it down for yourself, and just replenish your health like that. It takes longer than, say, a dock, but a little bit more useful for the rest of the team in the meantime. The attack, once again, coming from this master bedroom direction, though, focusing on the basement first of all. Last Killer has that drone set up in advance, and Icoc's going to be the one leading the charge up pantry stairs into kitchen to try and see if they can catch anyone out downstairs. None of the defenders are in the position, though, being left vacant for the time being, as they're more focused on extending horizontally.
Yeah, they're definitely going for this more default push that you see, going from the bottom floor, clearing out any sort of players such as Pulse, any sort of Nitro players that may be playing below. But as we saw, Team Invictum are not playing below. But these vertical holes, which you mentioned last round, Golu, are paying dividends for this hold. You can hold, as you see from Scorps there, back towards Trophy. And all they have to do is if Goldinis push or just peek out a little bit too far there, Golu, that could be a free kill.
Well, it's Hedgehog and Zorakai who are playing over by landing and a bit deeper across towards main stairs as well, as they're looking to see if this attack maybe does go for a horizontal push. Instead, it's all on the vertical. We can see if they can find any free frag grenade picks, which is one of the massive advantages of playing from below. The first one will go off a bit of damage onto Scorps, but ultimately in the long run, it's not going to pay off too well for them. The Kona station able to replenish, and Zorakai gets the first pick onto Brum once again. The Yana struggling to find impact in these opening 2 rounds. The 2 frag grenades off the table as well, neither of those being used in this round. A lot of utility off the board for the attack. Now they're starting to struggle. Yes, Crystal has this position in the bathroom doorway, looking to see if they can find anyone out inside of Astro, but a bit of an over-aggressive swing, going to take some damage from the receiving end of that DMR. Lucan finds the pick onto Icox, playing on the astronomy window. Last Killer coming up the stairs, going to get shot down as well. Lucan on an absolute roll here as he finds himself a third, and it's all down to Fallen. Once again, the Habana suddenly finding themselves in an unenviable position. Scorps gets the team kill onto the Jaeger of Zorakai, but it's not really going to matter here, I don't think. The 1 versus 4, 52 seconds left for Fallen to find an answer. Invictum looking very set to take their second round in 2.
Yeah, it's all up to Fallen here. I think at this point, Golu, he's definitely going to take this time for a timeout here. Yeah, you see him knifing around, just baiting out for any sort of kills here. Using this round for Goldinis just to say, oh, what happened that round? What changes could we make to get a round up? Because this will be Invictum's second round. Bearing in mind, if they do throw it, which I think will be very impossible, Golu. I think it will be a very bad throw here if Goldinis manages to win here. But Fallen's just gonna. I don't really know what to say here, Golu. He's just gonna stay outside and just wait out the timer here. He's got 10 seconds left.
Using it as a bit of a tactical timeout, right? He's just going to take this opportunity to talk to his team. Guys, what's going wrong? We can't be giving up these free picks. We've got to play a little bit more cautiously, a little bit more carefully, and we'll be able to win these rounds. Invictum, cementing themselves on the first half, take both of the primary bomb sites. And if they've taken Aviator Games, they're now taking Statue Trophy. Will force them downstairs, though, Pyro. And I mean,
downstairs is a good site. I like the kitchen dining room. You play from vertical. You can even play from very below. If you open that hatch, it's not pantry, but it's the one going up towards near astronomy stairs. If you open
Oh
that
yeah.
up, you've got so many good angles, and we do see the pulls coming out here. So the Goldinis will have to do a similar sort of strategy where they clear top floor and they clear bottom, but there is a massive risk with that portal playing on top floor.
I mean, look, they did a good job of playing upstairs when they were defending upstairs above, right? This hold
Yeah,
between astronomy, between trophy and statue was very well done. They weren't giving up any gunfights that they didn't want to take. They were playing their long angles very carefully, which is something you really love to see, right? Having that long angle that Cade was holding onto the window can sometimes expose you to a crazy swing from an attacker, but they always manage to find a way to minimize those threats. I'm expecting them to have that upstairs presence once again, right? You've got Lucan
yeah,
on that pulse,
obvious.
who is going to be scanning underneath with the cardiac sensor, trying to give as much information to his team as possible, and then also punishing any careless missteps from the attackers if they stay in the same place for too long, or the floor below them might just blow up.
I mean, look how many they've got though. 3 nitros go. 3.
Yep.
Suppose can be used as almost a sort of backup for Valkyrie. Normally you'd have Valkyrie for this bottom floor site, wouldn't you? You put one towards the near where concrete door is, actually in bedroom itself, and get many 3 nitros here. But Horse is going to be in that role here, and obviously Lucan being 4-0 right now, and Sakurai being 5-1. Such massive influential players in these 2 rounds. Could they pop off again? That is the
It,
question.
it is interesting to me looking at the changes in the attacking lineup, right? You're seeing the Osa come in for Fallen, off of that Hibana, feeling that they don't need a hard breacher for this site, which isn't massively uncommon, right? There's not a
Yeah.
ton you'd want to get opened up. Maybe the laundry walls is something that gives you a bit better access towards Tetris, the big pile of boxes in the middle of the dining room, which is quite a safe place to go for a plant generally. You have the table covering you from one way, the boxes covering you from another, and your team are the ones on the only exposed angle. You see Fallen already making his way in with this Talon shield, just trying to set it up by the table, by the sofas, just even see, just use it for information at the moment, more importantly. The first Toxic Babe being thrown out by the smoke, not yet detonated though, which is interesting, as well, Osa just backing up a little bit. Zorakai matched with Hedgehog on red stairs, looking to see if they can find anyone out above. Fallen just patiently waiting out the smoke as well. There's no threat upstairs yet. The attackers haven't taken any ground,
No.
and half the round is gone.
Finker's already died as well. I think Zokai got that first initial frag there, but Cox has already gone into sight, and he just get a free kill onto the pulse there of Lucan, and will he swing around to get that smoke there? He puts a flank drone, as we do see 2 players flanking towards that side.
Ooh.
He just get the refrag there. Ellie goes down, Scorps gets a kill.
Oh.
It's a 3 versus 3 situation here. He's just whiffing these shots.
Oh,
Pulls
it's
out
a
the
gun
gun 6.
6. That's not going
He
to
will.
work.
He can. He might do it though. He's on very low health. He swings away at the
Nope.
wrong time. Sakurai gets the kill, and while we're talking, a Nitro kill came out, and it's all up to a 3 versus 1. Make that a 3 versus 0 as Hedgehog gets the final kill onto the player playing by couches there. What a round. And I mean, it just fallen apart. They pushed into sight. I think when Icox got into sight there, that could have been a Goldinis round. If he managed to get the swing onto the smoke and get that kill, get 2 kills into the round, we saw the 2 players coming in from the clock area towards China door that he could have easily killed there. So it could have gone any way, but Invictum do pull out that round there.
I mean, I think the thing for me was just there's a lack of timing amongst the
Yeah.
team, right? When the first swing comes in and you have Icox there in that position as the Yana just swinging into sight, taking control of kitchen, you need the rest of the team to suddenly move in. You have 2 players that had a laundry. That's their signal. You should be removing that barbed wire much earlier on into the rounds, right? You burn out the ADS if you need to. You do whatever you can to get rid of that barbed wire. So when you need to push in, when you have that timing, you can coordinate it properly and you can just move in as one unit. There was no threat.
It's
for
comms,
Smoke
is there?
right?
It's no comms between teams.
Well, it's just that Smoke was just waiting patiently. He just threw out a gas canister, could stall time, and there was no other position in which he was being challenged. Maybe move in, have one cover, one try and get a plant down, just something to put pressure and force Invictum to make a move. Instead, they were just able to kind of waltz back towards the site and pick up all the picks they needed. And now, they get to start that run again. It was a clean sweep of 3 sites. They're back to Aviator Games, and they're running a very similar setup.
I think it is the exact same setup, except for the Bandit swapped out for the Cade there. So Bandit's obviously a little bit easier, I think, because they know where it is, but I don't think they've only bought, they bought 6 grenades again, but you remember last time here, it was actually Zokurai who was playing where Hedgehog is playing right now, so will we see that same aggression? We do see drones coming out from the side of Goldinis, but will they actually? Zokai is playing with him here, so this could be quite a few kills here for the side of Invictum.
Well, the first swing is going to go in favor of Icox as Hedgehogs fall down. That's the Thunderbird off the table. The Kona Station's still available for the team to be using up. And, well, you can see Zorakai using very early on just to get back to full HP. Lucan on that Aruni, once again with DMR in hand, going to fall back towards 90. Doesn't want to give up a pick too early on. Zorakai able to take another gunfight due to the healing received earlier in the round, but ultimately he's going to take the worst of that trade as well. Lucan, what can you find here? Taking the patient, swinging out, the bullets not quite landing with the target, the shield being redeployed into the corridor to give that longer line of sight, the longer angle available to challenge these attackers. He's just waiting to see who peeks over the top. Last Killer using that Gun 6 to great effect to remove that shield from play as they're looking to see if they can get the Bandit battery off the wall, get open vault and expose any players playing in that position. But Zorakai off the table from getting on the board now as he finally able to find that player out. Scorps with the Nitro Cell, but will be traded out very swiftly by the sledge from below. The cover for the team is immense. Crystal goes down, Nomad off the table, but Elite will fall at the same time. It's all down to Luke in another 1 versus 3. And with site control comfortably in the hands of the attackers, they have to be very careful as they're going to try and disrupt this plant. The first kill will land onto the Yana of Brum. Icox now watching this long angle, protecting from the doorway, lands the shots, and Lucan goes down.
I think actually Goldinis, that was the first round they actually got the first kill, the first frag out there, and they actually won that round. It was a nice sort of play there for Goldinis. Got the control they needed onto 90, onto that long, got rid of the shield, as you said, that got took over from the top of main towards that long angle, watching towards 90. But the Gun 6 easily got rid of that. Grenades pushed them off there, and they just got collapsed on there in Invictum. And Goldinis finally get around here, Golu.
The big thing for me in that round, right, was that Goldinis were no longer taking these gunfights one-on-one. And when they were moving into different positions, when they're trying to get themselves set up towards 90, when they're trying to move in for the plant at Zombie Door, they have someone covering the important angles, which was the mistake they made last time, right? In the first round of the game, and that enabled Zorakai to just push out, to take these aggressive swings, because there was no one there to punish him. Now they changed that, and they found his pick very early on when he tried to get aggressive on landing, and it just made that whole round a lot smoother for them on the attack. Now they need to try and replicate that on the other sites. Just be a little bit less careless with your lives, cover for each other, and more importantly, pick up these refrags.
I think Zorakai needs to be a little bit more aggressive here. I think Team Invictum actually played well when they played a lot more aggressive. You see in the first 2 rounds, was it Zorakai got the 4K and then Lucan got the 3K in that second round. So the aggressive players are paying off here. And you do have Hedgehog on the Thunderbird. So definitely last round, I think I agree with what you said there. Everything you said was shown into that round. And I hope Goldinis actually carry on from here. Scorps is going to do a spawn peek here, but I don't think anyone actually spawned towards that side. No, every single player of Goldinis spawned towards that ruined side. There was one towards the main side of the building here. But all they have to do here, Golu, is get rid of this Thunderbird here. Playing on couches.
Well, they have the reinforced wall to play off of, and the laser gate will help just slow the attack down a little bit, even if it just blocks a projectile. The explosive from the Zofia actually going through because Hedgehog was standing in too close proximity, but it will be burned out shortly afterwards. Brum on the Finker now, taking space inside of Study very quickly as Hedgehog falls back, trying not to get caught out as they use the Gridlock, actually. Interesting to see this operator come to the table after the recent buffs, just to try and prevent any flanks up main. Hedgehog finds a kill onto Last Killer, which will quickly be traded out. Icox ready and waiting on the angle. Scorps gonna swap out with Crystal again as well, and it's all down to a 3 versus 3 very, very quickly into this round. Crystal and Icox both having taken some damage inside of this round with just over a minute gone. It'd be interesting to see what they can kind of find to get the advantage now. Shots from Jaeger on this red stair is going to be peppering through up to the doorway before falling back. Just don't want to give up your life here. You want to play very carefully, very cautiously as the defense. You have the advantage. Time still to play with for the attackers, though.
You have that top main control, you have that 9 control, and you can push into Wolf Door here. You see Icox is playing towards that Wolf Door. All you need to do is get rid of Lucan here, playing on the backside of Trophy. If you get rid of him, you can push in, you can get rid of that smoke player. Ellie gets a beautiful kill there onto Icox. So it's now a 3 versus 2 situation here, and it's Oh, it's such a bad position here for Goldinis. They've got too many angles to watch here.
Ooh,
Fallen just get the beautiful kill onto Lucan. Lucan just being super aggressive there for no reason. Wide swinging out. Ellie gets a beautiful kill onto Crystal with that SMG-11 headshot. It's all up to Fallen again in the 1 versus 2 situation. Both of the players from each side have spread out. Nearly gets another headshot there, but Ellie's just going to pop that smoke canister and just stall out as much time as needed there.
ooh,
Zorikai just pushes too hard. They're
the
getting way too aggressive where
1v1.
they don't need to, but Ellie finally gets the kill with that SMG-11. That is 3 headshots in a row, Golu.
Wonderful, wonderful play with that SMG-11. Just to hold down the site completely. Playing us had a split, had the cross angle onto both entryways into site, and was making sure that Invictum on the defense, all 3 of them were coordinated onto where was being pushed on, and we saw how that worked, right? The first
Yeah,
pick, Fallen, trying to get the angle onto the smoke, onto Lucan on that Aruni, Icox even, not Fallen, was shut
yeah.
down very quickly from that crossfire, right? The Aruni just dipping and diving behind the cover, making sure they stay alive, got that trade out. But now, Goldinis again have to return to kitchen dining, and it's their last chance to pick up an attacking round. If they swap sides with a 5-1 lead to
It's not looking too
Invictum,
good.
that is a difficult one to come back from. They need to win this round, and they're bringing out the IQ to help. Now, I don't know about you, but the problem for me on their last round was the fact that they didn't take that space above. They were quite
Yeah.
happy to just chuck an air jab on the kitchen, on the master doorway, and just leave it and just focus on taking into sight itself. Icox had that play into kitchen, but it wasn't enough to win them the round, and that's not a reliable strategy either. You can't just constantly run into kitchen and make that work. They need to
I
go
mean,
for above. So far, they don't even have a sledge on board.
I think it was all Icox there who just went in through the China
Yeah.
door. Literally no vertical presence, as you said. I really do hope they will switch one player. They do have the Sophia here who can do vertical play, but what I reckon they will do is push from below, push up pantry stairs, push into towards mudroom as they did last time, which I don't think it will work because you have that vertical play, you have the pulse, you can play below. As we saw last time, it was on pantry. He had pantry hatch open and was just playing there, watching for any players playing below. So Goldinis need to push top floor, as you said here, Golu, but Invictum need to be careful they don't get too aggressive. I mean, last round was so close to being a Goldini's clutch there, Golu. 2 unnecessary swings got them killed, so I don't want to see that from Invictum. Don't let this 4-1 lead get into your head.
I'm still confused as to why there's no sledge on the board, right? It's the
Oh,
first
I
thing you
know.
think of when you see a kitchen dining defense is grab that sledge, we'll have some fun just
We should
smacking down with
charge
the
this
hammer. But I mean, they're going for this top floor presence. Icox on that scanner should be able to see Lucan from this distance. Its range is just a little bit longer than that of the cardiac sensor below, as we're seeing Zorakai just trying to play around inside of Astronomy. Has 2 teammates nearby to play off of. Aggressive swing though, looking for a pick on Bart from window. I like this aggressive play. Looking to see if you can find an opening pick. If you can get a kill and fall back. Ooh, just saw the cross from the Finko. Waiting to see if they'll be gifted a freebie. The drones coming through now might be the indicator for the Jaeger to fall back because this wall is all soft next to them. And if anyone's on that walk-in window, if anyone inside a walk-in window, they'll just
Oh
spray through the wall
no!
and try and get a pick. But 2 will go in favor of Invictum very early on. Icox and Last Killer both falling down. That's also the IQ off the board, whose sole purpose was to spot out this Pulse, who's gone unpunished. Zorakai finds a 3rd before finally being shut down by Crystal. Defense now still in a big advantage. 4 versus 2 for them, and Hedgehog just creeping around, looking to see if maybe, just maybe, he can sneak through the lines of attack and pick off another player.
This is where this pause can come right out. If they do see Fallen here on that C4, yep, Ellie gets a kill onto Crystal, and they do know where the last player is. Oh, Fallen, it's all in a 1 versus 4 situation here, Golu. Looking very dire. He does drop the backstairs hatch, but there is a shotgun. No,
How do you lose
Fallen gets
that?
a kill onto Scorch,
Okay.
but Ellie, okay, just get the final kill onto Fallen. I don't think he heard the drop there, Golu. I think he was just looking away, just got a bit, didn't hear the sound of the drop in his headset. You know how sound is in Siege sometimes, Golu. We've all experienced it when you've heard something from a different viewpoint, really.
Well, impressive half from Invictum, coming into this match as the underdogs, but showing that they are here to tango. And, well, it takes 2, and Goldinis haven't been up to scratch to keep this even. Invictum, they're just a couple steps ahead. right? And we all know what happens when you're a couple steps behind when you're doing the tango. You start to lose your position, you get confused, your headspace starts spinning, and before you know it, you're on the floor, you've tripped over on your own feet, and people are laughing at you for having two lefts. But Goldinis, this is their chance to salvage something, to try and bring it back on the defensive side of things. Villa, a map which people often say is defender-sided, and while some teams have been going out of their way to prove that to be the case, it will need to be true for Goldinis if they're to hold on tight.
Well, if they want the win here, Golu, they're going to need 6 rounds in a row. So they're going to have to beat Invictum here by a 1 round. But on the way that Invictum have been playing, and I know I said at the start that Goldinis might take this very easily, so I will apologise for the future here for my mistake. Invictum have played a beautiful game here, and are looking to close it out quite and relatively easy against the league leaders, remember. This would be such a massive boost here.
Oh,
They've run out coming out.
Oh, not quite. Close but no cigar. Lucan able to survive on, well, just about 30 HP. The Finker on the board for Hedgehog will be able to bring him up. Actually, I think that was post a heal as well, actually. So brought to much lower than I originally anticipated. Has the G36C in hand on the Yana, which is interesting, right? The ARX is just
ARX.
so popular.
Yeah. Especially with the new holo change, or the new sight change with the 1X, you can have whatever you want on there. And I run 1X on the ARX, so I actually prefer that over the G36C.
Doesn't Yana have the 1.5? You're
He does,
1Xer.
he does, but I prefer the 1X. I am a 1Xer. I
That's
know
a
you're very confused.
opinion.
I know you're very confused. You were blanking for a minute there.
Yeah, I was just racking my brain because they said they were going to take it away, but then they didn't. So yeah, you sent me spinning there, but Brumby might be the first one to get engaged on. Zorakai walking down the corridor instead, choosing not to go towards Zombie Door, looking for the pick onto 90. We'll see that Oryx will manage to get a little bit of damage onto Icox. Hedgehog finds the pick onto Brumby as Lucan falls as well. A quick 1-for-1 exchange between these two teams as Finker holding on tight from this zombie doorway, looking to see if anyone will challenge on, waiting for the bar swing, more importantly, looking to see if Icox might peek up their head. Fallen playing very close on this door with the SMG-11, has that shotgun to back up onto if they want to take things just a little bit more aggressively, maybe try and get up close with that pump action. The Nitrocell going to throw out, not going to land with its target. Zorakai now the one on the doorway will find the first kill. F2 Merchant indeed, his last killer finds 2 with the Nitro Cell on side of landing. That's the diffuser down as well. Twitch and Ace, the last 2 remaining. 3 defenders for them to find. Zorakai looking to see if he can find anyone hiding behind this bar. There are 2 of them in that position, but they're not standing up. They're not giving him the opportunity. Last killer finds Scorps and is flanking now through Study. This is a difficult situation for the Twitch to play out. Finds the first onto Icox, needs 2 more. Has to check the left. That's where last killer's going to be pushing in. The heal actually benefiting the Twitch in this situation, betraying the Thunderbird, but now they're surrounded inside a vault, playing it tight as they're actually going to drop back to the diffuser, knowing that this is where the Twitch has to go, knowing that Zorakai has to make the move onto them with 30 seconds left in the round. Just don't swing this, please! And last killer behind uses that smoke distraction perfectly to land the kill in the back.
That was a beautiful ace there from last killer. I didn't even realise he got. I thought it was a 4K in my mind, but at the graphics there gave us the ace. He got that 2K if I remember. And then the 2 last kills towards the end. Did he get the first kill as well?
That's how an ace works.
Assuming he did. That is how an ace works. My brain is just gone today. A beautiful round there from Goldinis. It's all up to last killer there, isn't it? That double nitro was definitely what set them apart there. Invictum were looking good there. I mean, the Twitch was able to get 2 kills there, get into sight and use the Thunderbird against him. But I think definitely that double nitro definitely changed the pace for that round.
Yeah, definitely. Getting that diffuser down on landing as well was just, it forced the attack to have to rethink where they're going to, right? Because you're used to having 2 players in that position, you get that vault opened up, you deny that space to the defenders, and then you can make the move wherever you want to go, but they didn't have that freedom this time. Fallen, instead going for the triple reinforcement on this wall. They felt that, you know what, whilst it might have been helpful for Invictum to have that angle onto the walk-in closet, they don't feel like it's worthy enough, right? They'd rather have the angle completely closed off, make it a little bit harder for Invictum to open up that wall themselves when they're looking to go for a plant potential. And well, whether that we see that the play coming out, we'll just have to wait and see. Invictum, I wonder if they'll go for that horizontal approach instead, taking that study control, as that seems to be where they are all spawning outside of ruins.
Prex Nitro.
This is cheeky. Last killer spotted out by the drone though, going to be able to shoot it out. That's one bit of information off the table. just waiting on this window so patiently for anyone, and Lucan will fall as the punishment. Well played to the Thunderbird.
Yeah, he did get droned there, but he didn't. He had the balls. He had the balls to stay in that position there and get the free pick. There might be a trade-off coming here from the 90 position. Crystal gets a kill onto Hedgehog. It's all going downhill for here for Invictum as Goldinis goes 2 frags up in the previous of this round. Icox just get killed. Sakurai just get a kill onto Bummy. I should say Icox is very low. What was he messing up my words here, Gurley? But that is a 3 versus 4 situation at this point. But there is a Thunderbird on the side of Goldinis here, and Icox will be healed back up to near full health here.
Yeah, and I'll just be waiting for that to recharge. If it takes too long for Invictum on their assault, that health will continue to rise. Ellie droning out, trying to make sure that they know what's going on. The Nitro Cell been spotted out below. That's been set off a little bit early, a little bit preemptively. Not quite sure exactly where these attackers are standing inside of studies. It's a bit of a guess more than anything else. Sledge making their presence aware near the Thunderbird just to try and cause some problems, but it's not enough for now. The breaching round going to be used to remove this camera. Now that they can turn, they're a little bit more useful at gathering information. They're no longer focused on one path. Icox prone behind the bomb chassis, just waiting to see what he can find. Last killer will find Scorps in the background. That's the Sledge who tried to contest downstairs, tried to deny any potential vertical off the table, and now running through the basement towards Astronomy Stairs, come back up and support the rest of the team. Zorokai has to be a little bit more careful, doesn't want to get caught out by a flank. Ellie over to this study balcony, master balcony, just waiting to see if there's anything that can be gained from this window. Is the Ash able to find the pick? Challenging. Trying to take the sprays, avoiding most of the damage from the smoke inside of Split. Has to be careful of the opening across from the bomb site, but for the time being able to chill on relatively high HP. Will finally get found, though, as Fallen lands the shots. Ellie lands another, though. Last killer goes down.
Wait, Fallen's down as well.
Ooh, Icox lands the long angle, denies Habana any potential clutch. And, well, Goldinis, they're starting their run. Yeah. 5-3 now. And creeping a little bit closer to that potential draw or that miracle win.
Oh, I know. As we said, they needed every single round on the defensive side. Did you actually notice there that Fallen was actually downed? So it was a 1 versus 1 situation towards the end of the round there. I think if you were Ellie, I think you would have taken that a bit slower if you actually knew that fact, Gurley.
Yeah, I think traded out on that last kill they found.
Yeah, the Ash on Zorokai, wasn't it?
So could have been dangerous if they knew, but ultimately weren't quite able to clutch out the round. And now they're still 1 shy, Invictum this is, of hitting that draw, to hitting that guaranteed 1 point.
Guaranteed points, yeah. Well, I mean, it's bottom floor, though. It is bottom floor, Golo. We did see Invictum have quite a bit of success on this bottom floor site, but there is always a risk of what are Invictum going to pull out here? I mean, we have the Twitch, we have the Lion, the Ash, the Fincat, and the Honor. Do you know what I'm getting a whiff of here? I'm getting a whiff of a rush.
Well, potentially. I mean, where are you expecting
push.
to rush from then? What's your avenue of choice here? Because you got the bike window, which is one. The classic is you jump in the pantry window, right? You just jump in, full send it up the staircase, up into kitchen. You're in sight in an instant. Yeah. You could go for like a longer basement route going through the garage, but I mean, we'll have to wait and see.
What about pantry window?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the classic one, right? But it doesn't look like they're going for it. So far, nothing sent upstairs. Scorps and Zorokai just droning out the basement to make sure that everything's kosher, everything's cleared up. There's nothing to worry about. And I guess going down underneath will actually circumvent the pulse, right? Because they're not expecting you to be in this position. Got to be careful of last killer, though, Lucan. He might take a swing from you from this window. The damage being dealt, but not enough. More actually exchanged onto the cap can in return. Not quite the ideal peek out. Looks like they might be going for seconds here, returning to the doorway once again. If this is read into, the Yana looking at the window for the time being, gone prone to avoid any lines of sight. Gotta be careful.
Wait, this is just a bit of tippy-tappy here. They're not even going to see. Are they actually going to get killed? He finally just get the kill as the last killer. Kills onto Luke, and I did like that Jaws theme there. I'll just do it a bit quicker because it actually happened a bit quicker here. Scorps, though, is going to actually push up these back scares. Hedgehog gets the killer onto last killer, and Icox goes down there towards that top floor. So they do have top floor control here, Goldinis. So could they push in? No, they're going to go for a rush here. The Lion Joe goes out, that EDD comes out. They do know one is towards Coach here. towards the couches, but do they know the one's playing behind kitchen? Hedgehog's pushing
Well,
up the pantry stairs.
Hedgehog.
He could get the free kill here. No,
Oh, gets
Crystal gets
turned
the kill.
on.
Ooh.
The shotgun in hand for Fallen. Not enough. Zorokai just running circles around the site, able to find the last two defenders alive. And, well, that's 6 rounds, match point, guaranteed point on the standings for Invictum now. At best, Goldinis can acquire a draw.
Yeah, all they need to do now is get one more round like that. They realise the rushes work, their aggressive play that they should have really carried on from the defensive side, Golu. They played very aggressive on the defense, but they kind of, how can I put it, slowed down quite a bit on the attacking side in favour. They've said, we need to be more passive-aggressive style here. But they went full send last round. Well, I should say full send. They did drain out quite a bit, but towards the end, it was more of that full send, that sort of adrenaline rush that we do see, that we do like watching this game. But will they be able to carry it on, Golu? That is the question.
Well, I'd hope so. But it'd be interesting, right? They just need one more round in Victim, and Goldinis can't afford any mistakes from this point onwards. They're back to the site. They won it last time, but it was off the back of a lot of individual performances from Last Killer, which resulted in an ace for the Thunderbird. And, I mean, you know, that double Nitro Cell on 90, the flank up study that was able to net them 2 more kills.
The initial pick as well, even.
Yeah, I don't think that's... I don't know. Right, Invictum had the upper hand in that round for a good bit of time. We've seen a couple times now that happen, specifically on this site, where it was the same for Goldinis, right? They were in that 4 versus 2 advantage. They opened the gate for an aggressive play from a specific individual. On the other side of things, it was Zorokai, and they punished them for it. You should be a little bit more careful. You got to be a little bit tighter, Goldinis, now. You can't allow these early picks to fall against you, and they're going to start that off with having Crystal and Icox on this roam together. They're trying to play these angles off of each other, go for the swings, and just generally slow down time from the attack early on. But, well, this attack is kind of focused around the other side of the map. You're seeing Lucan lining up on this main doorway. She's going to be maybe running off to 90 windows instead, never mind. Throwing themselves a little bit thinner, but deciding they don't want to go for too many of these one-on-one gunfights early on into the round.
Yeah, it's a very horizontal push, as we know, going for that more sort of main side. We do see Ellie here going towards that master bedroom side. So maybe, I don't know how this push is going to go. It's going to be very much a split push here. One going from study and the rest of them going towards master bedroom. They have got control into astronomy here, and they do know one is playing in this wolf area. Crystal does take a lot of damage from here, and he's going to rotate back towards 90. Oh, what a kill onto Lucan. That is a beautiful trade-off there. Getting rid of that Iana, getting rid of the frags, and can I just say, Golu, what a kill.
That was a lovely angle, lovely shot from the MP5, and Crystal finding the advantage for their team when they need it the most. Because, again, you're taking Lucan off the board. Big fragger, 2 grenades, gun 6, all off. And now they can anchor up a little bit more. The 5 remaining defenders all around site now. Zorokai on zombie window. Just trying to see what they can find. Brum going to be the first one to potentially take this encounter onto them. Hiding away against this corner here. Icox ready for the swing if contact is made. We can be careful of Scorps now. Coming onto this study balcony, trying to get the cross angle to neither space, but Zorokai will go down. Crystal finds a double kill within the round, playing from behind this bar, just dodging and weaving, becoming quite a hard target for the attack to find. Hedgehog, well, that explosive will cause him a little bit of panic, but it's off the table now. No longer has to worry about the nitro cell from below, as the grenade going over will remove the mute jammer. Fallen, waiting behind this wall to see if he can find anything with his. Nope. Hedgehog and Ellie both in a relatively safe position. Scorps outside study balcony. He'll have to be careful of the Aruni tucked in behind the fireplace. Besides them, Hedgehog looking for this long angle down onto Crystal. Don't swing up, don't pick your head up. But Brum will find the headshot instead. Scorps finds Icox. Study cleared up. Jaeger taking the angle as the flashbangs have come in. Give the space for Fallen to walk in. But no! He's protected by Brum. Ellie goes down, and it's all down to Scorps in the 1 versus 4. Fallen injured. Effectively a 1 versus 3, but Last Killer from the top of main stairs has the cover for their team, able to bring home the round, and Goldinis are still in search of a point.
I think that round, Goldinis definitely played together, played off one of each other, played the refrags I think as we saw it in that 4 versus 2 situation, when we saw Ellie push into that vault area, flashing out, she managed to get the down, but she still got killed from the other player of Goldinis here, who was on I think it's the backside of vault area. So I like how Goldinis are playing this. They're playing this together and as a team. They're playing as one, and they do get a round, and that is 2 rounds closer, Golu, to securing that point of what actually looked like an insurmountable task here for Goldinis.
Well, it's it's interesting now because every round that adds on, the pressure actually builds up on Invictum, right? Because they're the ones who just need one more round.
Yeah,
They just need one.
one
But as it
little
becomes,
round.
it starts to slip away, right? Goldinis, they pick up one. They can win this round, and look, this is a site that they should be comfortable in winning out. Trophy statue, defender sided. You have your setups set up correctly. You got the shield looking towards master bedroom. You got the ADSs protecting it. You have presence inside of astronomy. Yes, you don't have another shield to place there, but you have ways of gathering information, knowing when to swing off of. Proximity alarms not on the table, but banshees are. While they can be shot out when they're exposed, you try and play off them for that information tool, right? You start hearing someone get slowed down, you swing. You maybe have a nitro cell timed with it below. That was the classic, right? You'd break the barriers open and you'd chuck a banshee down, nitro cell underneath it, and then boom, you set it
Just
off.
boom, boom. By goes
exactly.
the attackers.
Well, it's more of like a wub boom, right? It's not a boom that the banshee is.
Okay, I apologize. I mean a whoop whoop boom.
Imagine not being a makeshift sound effects expert. You got to know all the sounds, right? You got pew pew, as just to say that brum brum go and find the first pick. That Zorokai going down. The adrenal surge used by Hedgehog to try and bring the Ash back up into play, but not soon enough. The kill quickly finished by the Jaeger, who's fallen back now. And this frag grenade down 90, ultimately not going to find any target. Control of Aviator and Games has been acquired. Landing is the next target for the attack from Invictum, and now they're one man down, so they have to be a little bit more careful.
Very influential.
Ellie already on position outside Master Windows. Got to be careful of Icox, who could go for a run out if you spend too much time on the drone, though.
You need to spend. I don't think you're supposed to be. You're on drones there, just droning in your players, and we do see Icox here opening up that walk-in. So he's gonna sort of lurk around here, and he's just gonna fall back towards bathroom here. He's just gonna try and waste as much time towards Ellie, but they are gonna push back here. Hedgehog takes a lot of damage on that single door here, so the push is definitely coming from this side here, Golu. But with a man down, it's not looking too great here.
Well, the Toxic Babe stalling out a little bit of time. Hedgehog taking a lot of damage, only one Adrenal Surge left to use as well, so it will be a little bit more dangerous to take these swings. Doesn't matter though, able to find last killer downstairs. That's the Thunderbird off the table. Nitrocell threat out of contest, out of mind, and Fallen trying to look for an aggressive angle with the shotgun. Brum still looking to play around this bomb chassis with Jaeger's 416C, a lethal weapon in the right engagement range, and this rear gate going to be reactivated, forces the burn to come through. There's still plenty of flashbangs in the pocket of the thermite.
Ooh.
Bobbing and weaving takes the initial hit, has a Kona station to potentially back up to, but it's just a little bit in an exposed position. Can't quite run to it just yet. Still the finger downstairs though, with 30 seconds, no more Toxic Babes for the smoke to play. All the stalling has been done, and now they have to find the fix. Icox finds the first, that Scorp's going down, and 3 remaining attackers. Ellie finds the first on the Brum though, that's the Jaeger off in play. Lucan finds another as well, Fallen. They're back in this. They have an opportunity, but 17 seconds on the clock. There's not much time for them. They have to get a move on. They have to find a way to get insight and get the plant down with coverage. Ellie taking a little bit of damage from Icox. That P10 Roni out of ammo. The Lucan takes a hefty chunk, but pretends and protects the diffusers are going down. The first pick will be found. Lucan finds 2 on the swing, but no! Hedgehog able to salvage the round after getting that plant down. Does the whole job themselves and brings the round home. Invictum take the win.
How close was that going? All 3 of them were lined up behind that bomb site there. I was going to be like, oh my god, if he kept holding that mouse one, because guns go... He could have easily got the kill there. I was going to say for that round, though, Zorokai got picked on very early, going 17 and 8 for his team. A very influential player there. But that last round nearly gave me a heart attack. I was like, I thought Goldinis were going to win that at the dying seconds.
Yeah, that was a little bit too close for Invictum there, but ultimately they were able to take out the win 7-4. 3 big points for them as they're trying to climb up through the midfield of this table, and that makes the job a little bit easier, whilst also keeping Goldinis in a difficult position now because they're still tied at the top. Well, actually, they're a point behind Nerf, right? Because
Yeah,
Nerf
there'll be
got
a
that
point
draw.
behind. Yeah.
So things are looking just a little bit harder for them now to get that first spot. It will rely a little bit of a cleaner rest of the season. Good job to Invictum, though. Well-deserved win. They played very well.
Yeah. Definitely, especially going 5-1 up on defense, forcing Goldinis to make mistakes, force them to lose their mental a lot of the time they're going to. It was definitely back and forth. I wouldn't say it's back and forth, but it was a very close game towards the end. I mean, it could have gone anyway. That if they won that last round, it would have been 6-5. But Goldinis would have had to gone to that bottom floor site, which obviously they lost quite convincingly last time. So who knows? But a very convincing win there for Invictum. Despite all the odds against them. I mean, it was 87% chance that Goldinis would win, according to the talent, according to the stat predictions.
Uncooked wins again, and that's what happens when you're an underdog merchant. But that is it for the minor league. There are still major league games to be played tonight, though. We're going to have to jump to an extended break. We'll be about 20 minutes, which is plenty of time for you to get something done. Grab a snack, grab a drink, say hello to the family, maybe call a friend and ask them how their day went. And we'll be back at 8 o'clock CEST for Machine Soldiers versus Laburnum Gaming.
choke. Just choke machine soldiers here. They leave 2 people up top, they push down below. I mean, they're coming to West Main now. You've got Agent here with a shotgun on West Main, and Korgo just gets that kill. He gets a double kill! Oh my god, Korgo's popping off with that triple kill. Could be
If Oxide would know, then boy oh boy would he be worried.
Well, it's actually going to be Mr. Easter to take out Spooky.
My lord! Thank you, Dallas! Thank you! Boy oh boy!
What?
Boy, Hammock, you will dream bad about this
my
one for
God.
years to come. I am absolutely amazed. Like, great congrats to Mr. East and stuff, but yes.
Matt's going to get very aggressive. Christmas did spot out the player out there, and Oxy D is able to take down Joey. This could be the perfect time for this one. He's just prepped it just so that when the players melee it, expecting something, they get something completely different. Grenade does come through.
But we'll be able to escape, and if you look up there, here's Coinsold taking out the depth head. And Dallas will fall finally on from Oxy D, as he already has his third kill up on this round. It's all down to Mr. Easter for Team 4 Gatekeepers.
Yeah.
Who are they?
Not going to be ideal, although it did force back the attack just for a little bit longer. A lovely shot by Doki, though. That's exactly what he wanted. He's going to be able to fall back with the rotation. Going to leave it, going to leave it open. He's not going to playing around the cover to try and hide his fallback. He doesn't get caught off by the attack. Now, got to be careful with these long angles. We saw what Visu were able to do with it. Quick trade going through. Doki able to re-pick that kill up for his team. Oh, and as well as finding another one onto Ethan's. That's a lovely triple kill for Doki in this round. So
It's full white flashed here, but the smoke is just denying any sort of push from Kraken. He's still in that area, and Doki just finishes up with a 4K from Doki that
big
round.
indicator that someone is doing something cheeky, something funny, but JTT finds the first pick, gets an injure as well. He'll secure that kill. I believe the Finger Foods trying to pick themselves up. It wasn't really thought protection opened, and he's found himself third. No way! He swung hip fire with the SMG-11 to make it 4, and Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Talent League R6. It's the final major game of the week. It's Machine Soldiers taking on Laburnum Gaming. And well, I'm Golly Molu. I'll be one of your casters for tonight's entertainment. And joining me, as he was before earlier this afternoon, it's Pyro R6.
Hello, hello, hello. If you forgot my name, obviously Golu just said.
Yes, I did.
A beautiful game today. I mean, Laburnum Gaming versus MS or Machine Soldiers, as I think I got that correct. My pronunciation, if you guys have watched any of the streams before, is, how can I put this, questionable. But going into the standings at this current stage for the major leagues, we have Laburnum Gaming in 6th position and Machine Soldiers in 7th position, Golu. So a very tight-knit competition here, would you say? It'll be a close
Yeah.
match.
I think these are two teams who both want to climb up the standings a little bit. And Laburnum Gaming, slowest start, previously LFO, now they've been picked up by the org, obviously starting to find their stride a little bit with some new additions to
Check
their
out the
team. And
podcast.
yeah, exactly. We had the lovely opportunity to speak to Yuno last week, and they felt confident about their week. And so you know what, this is their game. I have no doubt that they'll be able to find something, and they'll be looking for the dub for the win here. No draws wanted, right? But with these two teams being so close in the standings, perhaps a draw is on the cards.
It could go anyway. I hope it's not a draw. I hope we do see one team prevail over the other, as that would make for more of an interesting game. But going into the staff bands as well, I think it was 74% towards Laburnum Gaming and 26 to Machine Soldiers. Was that before? Well, as we see here, the actual standings, which we did mention before, as we did mention the Laburnum Gaming in 6th position, and Machine Soldiers there actually put them to the 4th position, so slightly wrong from what I read earlier, so not as close as we thought there, Golu.
Yeah, Machine Soldier's a little bit stronger than potentially anticipated, but here we go. There is that staff vote, and it's 75% or 74% to Laburnum Gaming. Laburnum Gaming, and I mean, that is an advantage that the staff are giving them, considering they are lower in the standings at the moment, and I guess that just tells you the faith that they have.
Look at the minor leagues, though. That was a very different standings there and what happened there. So it could go any way. But going on to the maps of today, we have Oregon, also known as Oregon, and Theme Park. Theme Park is actually the first time it's going to be played in Talent League Season 7 here, Golu. So I'm looking forward to that second map. Not so much the first map, let's say.
I think that this is an interesting map pool, right? You can see that it was Machine Soldiers who've chosen to take us to Oregon. I think that's interesting because Oregon as a map, both teams will know very well. And you're looking at Laburnum Gaming here. This is their opportunity to steal a map away from their opponent, right? If it goes 1-1, it's a draw. You got to get that win, and by picking into a map that both teams are definitely going to be aware of, both teams will have strategies. Both teams will be able to play well. It's interesting that they chose to do that. Then you have Laburnum Gaming on the other hand of things, who are going for the curveball. They're throwing that swing ball. They're trying to throw the pitcher off as much as possible so that they can try and find something in this win, right? You're looking at Theme Park, a map which has come back into the rotation after, it was taken away a little bit ago. Ubisoft have given it back to us. We can play around with Theme Park once again. And it'd be interesting to see what Machine Soldiers have prepared, if anything, because otherwise it's looking like that will be a pretty swift map. But it's Oregon first, Pyro, and Machine Soldiers on the defensive side of things. We'll get to see what they're feeling out for the ban phase, and it's going to be Thatcher off the board very early on. That's kind of to be expected, right?
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty much default here. You see Thatcher, Flores or Jackal, any one of those. The Cade or the Mirror, and also Valkyrie could come out. So a lot of options here. We'll see what the side of Laburnum goes for. Hibana. So slightly different to what I predicted here, Goli, but still, I think that's mainly for the fact on bottom floor you have 3 hatches that need to be get on. So I reckon it's for that side. Not the hard breach I would have picked. I would have picked maybe a Maverick from that side.
I don't know. I think getting rid of one of those ranged hard breaches makes it a little bit harder to attack onto the top floor as well. You have to expose yourself if you want to get that walk-in open, but Ace is still on the table, and Ace is a little bit more reliable than Hibana for a lot of spaces outside of hatches. Mira will be the first offensive ban, Laburnum Gaming not wanting those black windows to be in effect, and, well, Valkyrie will join them. So, Hibana, a bit of a curveball, but the rest of things playing out as expected. The Cade is on the table, which will make it particularly interesting on the basement site for these teams trying to get open the hatches. But Machine Soldiers, they're starting off where you usually see teams choose to. That's going to be the kids' dorms and the dorms main hall.
Yeah, a very site which is well refined over these days. Everyone knows the sort of setups, where to put shields, where to push from. So this could go either way. I do expect a more defensive-sided win especially going towards that top floor and bottom floor site. So it all depends on the Laburnum Gaming's attack here. They do bring the Maverick out, they do bring the Ace out, and they do bring the Sledge with the grenades out as well. Along with, I think that's actually 6 grenades they got there.
Yeah. And like you say, you want to try and get rid of any denial on that game's breach, and getting the frag grenades from below can be a great way to do that. The counter here is that those Cade claws, bit of a bit tongue twisting there, but they can be thrown up quite high on the wall, and if they're thrown up high enough, that radius of frag grenade from below will not catch it out. It will require you to either have some sort of drone in sight, like the Twitch drone we're seeing that Hunter's bringing out, or you're going to have to throw it through the game's window instead, at which point it's susceptible to potential Jaeger ADSs, Wamai magnets, things that can try and throw it off and just slow down opening up that breach. Adrian going to be the one to check that claw out, and interesting to see where he's thrown it. But the assault being split from the side of Laburnum Gaming here, as you see 2 players, the Sledge and the Maverick, going over towards Attic, which is fairly standard. And Hunter finds Creeds very early on, and that's the regenerating utility of the Wamai off the table very early on.
Where was that actually from? I think that was from
Games window.
It was below, yeah. I think that was from a games window. Yeah, it was. So we see it open now. Games window, spawn peak there, not paying out on the side of Creeds there.
Nope.
Player down already, and you have the Twitch, who's very low, but is being able to get rid of there. Sledge is just getting a kill onto Heavy there. That is from the peaks from Critical. It's already looking down for Machine Soldiers here, Golden. I mean, you went oops. So I mean, I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, Steno still up inside of bunks, trying to see if he can maybe just deny any access through Trophy. Lemon's looking to see if he can find the flank, see if they can get that to work. Adrian also in sight. But active control in the hands of the attackers is a good start. Steno finds the pick onto Zarok. That's the Sledge going down, but it's quickly traded out. Lemon's getting a little bit over-aggressive on the staircase, caught out by the barbed wire. Steno finds a second Hunter off the table as well now, and it's down to the 2 versus 3. The attackers still in the advantage, especially with how low on HP Steno currently is. Finker, still 2 Adrenal Surges that can be used as this round plays out. 1:20 for the attackers to find their groove and to see how they want to break this down. Still have Critical inside of Attic. He's alone, but the breach in games has not been yet opened, which gives a little bit more freedom to these defenders to play around.
I'm interested to see whether Steno will go for the flank here. You've got P13 in the Master Measure side, Critical on that Attic as you were talking about. And I think Spills, yeah, he's going to go and try and get rid of these bandits, which are playing below here. So they are going to try and get the wall open, but no! It's a Cade, so it'll probably be on the top side. So you have to go through the game's window. You're going to have to throw it through the game's window there, but he has no more... Actually, he has 1 more grenade left, but 42 seconds left in the game. You have to focus on getting into Attic here. P13 gets a kill onto Steno. It's all up to that last player playing to engage him. Beautiful headshot there onto P13. He's bobbing and weaving around this player there, but Critical does get the kill. I mean, you were saying it all there, Gerda. He knows where he is, and I think the Maverick's just in a better position there to win that gunfight.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to say, a little bit cautious when Laburnum Gaming start to push in 1 by 1, because that is normally how you give up your leads. Ace went down, P13 off the table, dropped that diffuser, and there was no one to immediately refrag. If he had won that gunfight against Critical there, would have been looking a little bit quirky for the side of Laburnum Gaming to try and bring that home. Obviously, the 1 versus 1 is never a guaranteed situation for you. However, they are going to take this first round somewhat comfortably. They had a great start, and that's what we can praise, right? You saw Critical and Zarok partnering up to get open Attic. They had that hole so that when Heavy went to try and contest, went to try and see if he could maybe catch an exposed foot of the Maverick, well, he was punished very hard. On the flip side of things, just taking good control of Armory in a timely fashion. The one sort of spanner in the works is that they were never able to get that game's breach opened up.
Yeah, it's definitely that sort of you sort of tend to focus on that game's breach a lot more on the attacker side, but they didn't need it that round. They got into attic, as you said, very, very early on, getting the kills from the holes that Critical actually made, and that spawn peak that just didn't pay off for Creeds definitely changed that round. So, will we see something similar here, or will Machine Soldiers actually be able to get this win here? We are seeing the same sort of push from Laburnum Gaming, that sort of split 3-2 push that we do see onto games and onto the tower side here.
Yeah, and again, just going for the same take, right? If it worked before, go for it again. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. P13 on the upside down repel, trying to see if he can maybe catch anyone off on an angle. Saria Gate back on that doorway will begin to slow things down. Going to need to invest some flashbangs potentially to get that opened on up, as those, well, Ace has no throwables and the Selmas are a little bit too valuable to be wasted on the likes of a Saria Gate. Maybe just checking the cameras, making sure the rest of his team are okay, because for the time being, they're not under too much threat. Kreese takes a little bit of damage from Zarok on that same spot. He was able to catch out the smoke before. They've swapped positions this time. Without having that Wamai caught out so early on, you can play a little bit more passively with that smoke.
I mean, with Kreese in this position, he's got 3 angles to watch. He's got that angle he opened up towards the armory stairs. He's got this position here from Big Tower, and he's also got the game's window, which could be a problem. But if you actually look below, you do see Steno here on the bottom of the tower stairs here, Golu. He could get a flank if Zarok and Critical aren't watching. Hunter gets a kill onto Agents. That's the first pick going the way of the Laburnum Gaming here. Another great start to the round.
Yeah, you see Zarok on the drone. He knows this flank's coming. Critical punishes Steno for pushing up too far, and suddenly it's starting to fall to pieces for the side of Machine Soldiers on their defense. Attic control comfortably in the hand. Heavy downstairs, able to get the shotgun kill, onto Hunter. That means he's given up his position inside of sight. Zarok in pit. He's waiting to see what's available. P13 finds the first pick, pushing through the breach, and now there's one on white. One holding on tight. That a bunk Creeds. Ooh, Heavy finds a pick. P13 trades it out very quickly on, and Critical finds the last to bring home the round.
Heavy, what a quick peek there. A beautiful kill there from Maverick, but a bit of a question here, Golden. Why wasn't that left side wall reinforced? He managed to get the spawn pit, he managed to get the wall bang there, but normally, if you're playing in Attic, the way that the defensive side were there, you'd have that wall, the left side wall reinforced, so you can't get wall bang from the master bedroom double window. So I don't know what Machine Soldiers here are doing on defensive side. It's just not working for them in the position. And Laburnum Gaming got able to get these 2 kills here. But Golu, we're seeing a meeting kitchen hold here. They're opening up the electrical box hatch here. So why not below?
That's an interesting question, and it's one that, you know, I'm kind of asking myself, a little bit perplexed that when you have that Cade on the board especially, you have this brilliant utility. You know, Cade, as an operator, you throw that claw up on a hatch, that hatch is staying closed for a lot longer. You're going to have to maverick it open or find some sort of way to sneak an explosive, maybe use the Twitch drone to get that claw off. But it's definitely a harder job to do. Instead, going for this meeting site, and I'm liking the look of this strategy so far. They've actually opened foot holes on one side of that main wall from stage into rear stairs. And, well, my only sort of clue from this is that they're looking to see if they can punish the feet of any attacker that walks too close to that breach. Just punish a little bit of over-aggression, as they've set themselves up upstairs as well. There's a lot of work for Laburnum Gaming on the attack to do. Interesting to see if they can pull it off.
And there's holes there, actually, because they've opened up hatch. You can see that long angle there. As Adrian just get the kill onto Spills, as we were just talking about. These long angles are actually playing dividends here for Machine Soldiers. And I'm not too sure how they can push this. Maybe go T3, as we do see Zarok is already on those stairs. But as you said before, the feet holes may punish them as they're pushing down those long stairs here. I think they need to get control of Attic, but you have got Steno, you have got Lemon, who is on that alibi, who is watching top floor. As he's gonna... Steno just missing the shots there onto Critical.
The timing a little bit unfortunate for the Lion as, well, the moment he looks away, he starts to get peppered down from the Jaeger above. still has control outside of this window though. Heavy finds the Twitch drone, but not before they lose the bulletproof cam, which gave them that important vision down the kitchen corridor, the Saria gate being shot out, but Creed's found the pick onto the Maverick. Not onto Maverick, sorry, onto the Lion outside, so you know what? You might have been a little bit vigilant, but not quite enough. Hunter waiting in position now. Selmas are going to start to open up the rear stage wall. EMP going out, but not in enough time to shut them down. B13 now, with that opening into attic as well, commands this long line of sight to deny that upstairs hatch to any of the defenders. Although he's moved out of that position, there's no one else to take it up. This could be the opening that the defense really need to capitalize on their current advantage. There's a lot of space being given to these three remaining attackers and kind of walk into sight here if they get the opportunity. The long angle's not being watched for the time being, and once you're behind that desk, it's so hard to root you off the plant.
I mean, you have to stay one of the players on towards the attic side. You can't push into sight when you know there's a presence on top floor here. The first gunfight's coming out here from Twitch, and that's 2 people down on the attic as we talk about. This immediately goes to a 3 versus 3 situation. Adrian gets a kill onto P13. Hunter gets a kill onto Heavy. It's a 2 versus 2 situation. As Golo said, why are you planting in that corner? You could just be seen from the split person there. The grenade comes out, and this is the perfect plant position here from Hunter. It's all up to Zarok to defend this plant. Adrian's got a swing here, but he doesn't see where the player's coming from. Zarok downs Creed here on that position. Now they can run away and go towards the top floor. It's a 1 versus 1 situation. It's all up to Adrian versus Zarok. Zarok's outside of that T1 door here. He's going to stick the plant.
Is he sticking?
Will he push? No. He went off, and a beautiful kill there from Zarok onto Adrian. Getting the round for the Laburnum gaining, which a round I think Machine Soldiers should have won there. That long angle, that boxed up plant position as well. That was a pyro moment.
Well, look, let's be real. There are too many of those to know what you meant by that.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
It's pyro moments too all-encompassing, and you know what? As a someone who's played too many ranked games with you, man, like.
No.
There's too many of those, right? But more importantly, Laburnum Gaming able to pick up that round after falling behind early on, and the big thing for me was that the respect just wasn't given to the fact that Zarok was playing on the back stairs. Yes, the Twitch got the first injure onto Steno from down below and secured that kill, but it was Sledge being up above, playing off that breach that found them the second, and more importantly, netted them that presence because all the remaining defenders were downstairs. On the defensive side of things, though, like, guys. Sorry, not defensive. On the planter side of things, why are you planting in that corner? Right?
Why are you
Adrian
planting there?
just gave Adrian that free angle from split door, which is so hard to cover that spot from the break that they had opened up. The angle is so tight. You just go in. It's a lot easier. It doesn't have to come as close. Ultimately, still able to take the round though, and Machine Soldiers struggling to find their footing on this first half. They are going to try the basement now, and. Well, 3 rounds in, if they win it, they're not going to get to play it a second time, which is the kind of worry for me here, is that maybe you're not enabling yourself to play the best site the most.
Oh, Rush coming in, Blitz is down. Oh, no! Steno manages to get the kill. Spills gets the refag back onto Steno, but they have got blue control here. The Burnham gaining for the trade-off from that, not Bandit, Blitz player, there we are. I've got it on my mind here. But Heavy still has, he's got 1 more smoke here in this round. The player coming down blue stairs is kill from Spills, but I don't think he's going to be able to get that refac here. Smoke's going to push up, and he does get the down there. He's going to get the smoke and get the kill there. Adrian gets a double kill there. Beautiful there, and they do get the actual pickup here, so it's a 4 versus 2 situation here, Golo.
Well, Critical looking to see if he can find some work on the back staircase. Creeping up, it's Adrian. He has a triple kill in the round, and suddenly, P13's all by his lonesome, and this is what I was afraid of here. Yes, it was on the back of Laburnum Gaming being a little bit over-aggressive. Able to find Heavy, though. Smoke off the table. Does start to help. There were no toxic babes in the pocket with Heavy left. So, the classic impact you'd say, smoke off the table so early, that's dangerous. Not really the case here. P13 going to be taking his time now instead. Deciding that, you know what, guys, we trolled this round a little bit. We probably shouldn't have played as aggressively as we did. We gave up a couple of kills. We'll take our time just to consider what our next move might be. But again, look at this, right? Machine Soldiers aren't going to get to return to this site.
Yeah, I think
They're
you were saying
not going to get to play
that
basement
before.
again.
You see how dominant they were on this bottom floor site? That decision of picking meeting definitely harmed them, I would say. They should have gone to the more secure site here, going for that bottom floor, which they won quite convincingly, may I say. The only question is, where will they go next? Will they go to that meeting and kitchen, which they only lost really on their own sort of bad plays, or will they go back to that top floor, which they got pretty easily beat both times going?
Don't know. Well, let's see what P13 has in store for us. The drone being shot out gives away the fact that there's someone playing by the barrel's door. She's taking some shots towards pillar. Has to be a little bit careful of this angle. The deployable shield still up on elbow as well. 3 direct threats, all waiting for him to make his first move. The first going to be the Aruni. Takes some damage in exchange for that swing, and eventually Adrian, playing from E-Box, able to find the shots for a quadra kill on the round for the Mew.
All they had to do there was just push at the same time. There's nothing that P13 could have done in that situation. He took the time as a timeout, and now we will get the answer to my question, which is definitely going to be meeting and kitchen. They definitely played Machine Soldiers a lot better on this site. Steno on top floor, they did get the who was it who was on the sledge? It was Zarek, wasn't it? Who got the double kill towards that attic side, which definitely changed that round as well. So it's literally, for this site, simple mistakes that are being made by the side of Machine Soldiers here. The strat, I actually liked it. The feet holes. Remember that first kill that came out from Adrian from that long angle towards blue barrels? That sort of stuff I like to see. But they need to play more passively towards the later stages of the round, I think.
Yeah. I think that's fair enough to say, right? You have advantage, make sure you hold on to it. Because they've lost out from that 5 versus 3 position before. Now that they're returning to a meeting where they had that 5 versus 3, maybe this new patience that they found when they have their lead will help them out here. But it does rely on finding those opening picks once again. Creed's looking to see if anyone will enter his territory over by showers, but, well, all of Laburnum Gaming are focused instead towards Garage, towards Armory. Well, that's just because it's a little bit of a safer entry. They want to clear out this top floor because they recognize the importance of having it before, rather than going over towards it from the attic side of things, from the big tower, hit it from trophy. Because there's just a little bit less danger of being hit in the back, right?
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to see if they can take this ground. There's the frag grenades being prepped out, being thrown into pit. It's just Lemons at the moment upstairs. Steno in close proximity, but the alibi lands the first shot onto Hunter. That's not a great start.
No, it is really not a great start, and you were talking about safety here for this top floor, and it's just not working out for them. You have Zarok here on the top floor, and you have Spills who's on this double angle, so they are trying to get positions, but you see that below angle, how is he getting the kills onto there? Oh no, Zarok just managing to miss the shots onto Steno there, and I think Steno is he's going to keep peeking. Golly, why is he keep peeking here? Is he going to run out? There's 2 people there. And yeah, that's a beautiful grenade from Spells, and Steno is down. All they have to deal with now is Lemons in this attic position here. In pit, but also Creeds is on white. I actually didn't notice that before. This could be very dangerous if they don't drone it out here.
Yeah, you don't want to get hit in the sides, do you? And the frag grenade being tossed around the corner will give a little bit of shake to Zest, and that's what they need to land the kill. Zarok clearing out that space, and, well, that's Creed's signal to fall back down. Doesn't want to give up his life too early on. You know, you're playing in this advantage, right? You still have 3 of you alive. There's 1 more attacker than there are defenders remaining. Just play it safe. Heavy didn't get the memo. Going to give his life up to critical. That's the smoke off the table as well. And now, the 2 remaining defenders, Creed and Adrian, have a little bit of work cut out for them. As the drop comes through from critical, he finds Adrian has had a sight, and it's all down to the Malusi. Locked out of sight. And Zarok will be the one to put the nail in the coffin, land the kill from above.
I think Machine Soldiers did the complete opposite of what I suggested that round. I said stop doing late game aggression, but instead they did early game aggression. Steno, what was the need of pushing up Hober there? He got shot from behind. What he needed to do there was push up close and not peek out for that double door there. I don't know if that was just a desperate play. It was hard because you can't push backwards, can you?
If you've got the sledge already watching your angle, and you know they're playing that thinker out on the balcony, because you can hear the LMG and it's not a fuse.
Yeah.
If you stay in that spot, you're going to get naded out either way, right? I think that's the mindset there. If you can get a pick for your time, it's worth. And they got a lot of damage done onto Spliz. It just wasn't enough to land that kill. 1 bullet shy. Had he made that kill, well, maybe that impact is worth it. But ultimately, Laburnum Gaming take yet another round, and to finish off the half, Machine Soldiers are going to fall back to where it all began. I think started slipping away from them. It's going to be on that top floor dorm site with, well, not too many changes.
No, I think it's near enough the exact same sort of hold here from the side of Machine Soldiers. There is no changes that I can see except for the Zofia on the side of the attacker side here. A lot of grenades. You've got 6 grenades and you've got 4 claymores. There's a lot of potential here, but they have to watch out from Steno being super aggressive here towards the main stairs. They do join him out, so he is going to push back here. And you do see he's prepped up a lot of sort of sneaky peeks that can catch out Laburnum Gaming here. So they have to be very careful in this position, Golu.
And they have that presence over by Armory. They're taking all the control they want. Interestingly, no Maverick this time, which means that attic threat that they've used so excellently in the previous 2 attacks of this site isn't going to be available to them this time around. Maybe they can try and get some presence there with just breaching it naturally, but the focus is all towards games. Claw still up on the breach, though, and Zarok, interesting angle he's trying to play here, using a little bit of a hole in the barricade just to grant him a sightline down towards the bomb. But he won't find anything just yet. Gemini being used to burn out the Saria gate makes perfect sense. Just burn it out and get rid of it, and then you can send in those frag grenades towards the shield that is being played by Creeds currently.
Will they actually get... Yes, they did manage to get the Cade on there, but they are going to go for the Cade trick. And will this Cade trick actually pay off here? They do manage to get the wall open, and Ancient's been downed. It's a bit of a... I wouldn't say a bad peek there. He just didn't be able to get back in time there. But there's not going to be a finish here, and they P13 manages to get the wall open. Hunter and Zarok get trays off there. It's a 4 versus 3 make that as Creeds gets a kill onto P13, who has done his job of opening up that wall. But it's not going well here for Machine Soldiers. They have the 2 presents towards the attic side. They're all concentrated towards that kid side, aren't they, Golu?
Well, Heavy in a bit of an uncomfortable position. You know that there's presence on that big window, which makes it a little bit harder to rotate around. You can't walk out as freely. Steno rotating that ADS just to make sure he's safe from the grenades. Creeds dropping down the hatch, can get punished by Critical, who was ready and waiting to pick up that kill. The White Stairs presence is known. Steno finds Hunter, though. That's the first that they need. Can he look for the second? Trying to land the shots onto Yana. It will fall to Heavy. Spliz and Critical. Things are starting to slip away from their teammates. It's all down to them to seal the deal. Sophia pushing up White. The Toxic Babes continuing to whittle away this clock. Still plenty of time for the attackers to walk on in, though. Both the defenders having taken that damage earlier on. You still have the Adrenal Surge ready for Spliz. The explosions going down behind Hobo, trying to see if they can draw the angle onto Heavy, but at the moment it's not enough. The last Toxic Babe expended on White Stairs to continue to slow down the time, but Critical found the shot through the floor. He killed the smoke. It's all down to Steno, but he does not quite have enough HP to make this work. It's going to be headshots only. You can't take any damage. Critical still on this White Stairway. He's finally going to walk in and land the shots onto Steno. Laburnum Gaming take this first half in a storming fashion. They've completely demolished their opponent.
Oh, I know. I have to say, for that round, it was looking very dire when it was a 2 versus 2 situation, Golu. They didn't have that attic presence where most of Machine Soldiers were concentrated towards. We see the 3 players last alive were towards 2 in kids and 1 in the attic. So it was looking very dire as they did get the double kill. But with 2 LNGs versus 2 players who are very low on health, most of the time you are going to win that. And Laburnum Gaming go 5-1 up on attack. On what I think you could consider this as an attacker, as a defender-sided map here, Golu. So a bit surprising there.
Well, it's definitely interesting that Laburnum just clearly know exactly what they need to do, and their attacks were just very well rehearsed, right? They took good presence, they had control of the important spaces that they needed for each attack, and they executed onto site together as a team, and that's what counts most of all.
Do you think that bottom floor?
Look,
I was going to say,
look, the bottom floor round was clearly a little bit of a rush gimmick, right? You had that blitz. You were rocking it with the finger to try and get it in early, get the damage out onto the attackers, and try and take that elbow control without having to use utility and invest into it. You have things like the Flores on the table. I'm sure Laburnum Gaming had a way of attacking that site naturally. But when you're 3-0 you want to try and take a gamble, and that's what they wanted to go for. It didn't quite work out for them. Machine Soldiers are very grateful that it didn't, because that was their only round of the half, with the Hot Pocket expended very early on into that master bedroom doorway. That's one more piece of utility not available to them. P13 taking a little bit of damage as Laburnum Gaming are maybe getting a little bit too comfortable here, Jamie.
Yeah, I would say a little bit too comfortable, Pete. It's just an unnecessary peek there. But Machine Soldiers, you got the Thermite who's pushing double window. Is it me, or is there no sort of breaches towards that side? Am I losing my mind here?
Yeah, well, you know what? Sometimes you just feel like it's not needed, right? You're going instead for another space. Heavy, the one only hard breacher, currently waiting outside big window, going instead for this small tower and wide stairs take. And I like to see this come into play. It was popularized a lot in LATAM through the use of a buck, notably though, which isn't going to be available. And that makes it a little bit harder to do the job that, well, you want a buck to do. Open up that floor from below. The idea is you rip open all the space inside of the dorms, and it just makes it a little bit harder for the defenders to deny when you vault in for that plant. Well, we'll have to wait and see what Laburnum Gaming are made of if they're able to hold this back. Machine Soldiers are still lining up to jump in.
I mean, we have to be careful of those frostbats. Will they get a kill? So then there's 2 on there. If you jump in too quickly, they could get the kill here. And these long angles, you have Spills watching this top right area. The first kill does go out in the favour of Laburnum Gaming there. Please just get the refire back onto Spills, playing in that good nade, just playing in that angle, sitting there for way too long. I think he was sat there for a minute here. And now I think the actual rush is going to come out, the actual go in here. They are going to push in them in the hobo here. So, what are Laburnum going to do? Steno gets a kill onto Zarok. It's a 4 versus 3 situation here. They have got top wide pressures. No! P13, Chris gets a kill. It's all up to Hunter on the bottom floor site here. But he is getting cut off here by Adrian and the Iana. And that was just an easy round there for Machine Soldiers. Keeping up the favour of attack and winning in this game.
You can't lose that swing as the Jaeger there, right? Diana's given you so much time to land that shot, and you get turned on and taken out. It was an important round for Machine Soldiers to win because it sets the tone for this second half. And well, after that take, they took it in strong fashion. They knew what they were doing. They cleared themselves the space that they needed, removed the frost mats with the grenades, took the site very quickly when they collapsed. That's what's important about a collapse like that, is you have to move very, very quickly to capitalize on any potential lapse of judgment that the defenders have left you. 2 drones already destroyed, though, for the attackers. That's a little bit worrying that you're losing so much information early on into the threat phase. But Laburnum Gaming won't worry too much about that. They'll be thankful, if anything, as they're resetting themselves up for this top floor hold.
Yeah, I don't like that that drone saving there, not ideal. But Kane is on the board here, which we do see on top floor, going to be holding the 2 main walls here. And will we see a similar sort of push here from Machine Soldiers? We do see Heavy on that Thermite again. We see, I think it's actually the exact same operators as last time, so it could be a similar push here. But I'm not too sure here, Golo.
Well, it's interesting.
There's no Maverick yet again.
You know what, some teams feel like it's maybe not what they need. It's interesting that with repick being a thing, that they are sticking to the Thermite as the sole hard breacher if they're still going for this tower-sided take. The early shots from the Legion will give his presence away. He's, well, not got a lot to play off of here. There's no shield, there's no ADSs, nothing to keep him safe. It's just about, well, how long can he stall by himself. He's got Hunter to support him down below. This is a little bit risky, having a player playing up this side on this take. Potential frag grenade could be his undoing. This window, though, the first thing to be exposed, and will Hunter be able to line up the shots?
What?
Oh, can't quite thread the nail there. Well, it's not going to be enough. Critical still all by himself up in this tower, though, Pyro, and
it's not looking too good.
A little bit interesting.
It's a death hold, I think, and Asian gets the kill onto Critical there. Perfectly timed grenade just to manage to get rid of him, and Hunter's going to fall back towards security here, playing towards that bottom right side. So we are seeing a similar push here from last round towards Machine Soldiers. So how will Laburnum Gaming counteract this? We see 3 players towards the side of this master bedroom, and we see Creed towards that tower side. So maybe going for that sort of late game roam here, but they're trying to clear out this player of Hunter. And can I just say, Hunter's presence is... Roam game is perfect here. He's taken up so much time on the side of Machine Soldiers here.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really know where he is or what he's doing. He's just kind of chilling around the map. So in that sense, it's not him that's drawn that time away, but yes. He has done a good job on the roam of keeping himself alive.
Radiant.
Zarok being the first one to fall on the side of the fence after critical, though. Steno finds that pick. Another well-timed grenade from Adrian will shut down P13 at the top of White Stairs as well. And suddenly this site is looking to be quite comfortable for Machine Soldiers. Hunter finds the pick downstairs below onto Creeds, but Spliz is down inside of sight, leaving the Mute with an ace clutch if he wants to win the round. Finds the first of 4, though, as Adrian is down for the count. Heavy has that diffuser down. Oh, no, he's been gifted a third as well. Lemon's not aware of the hole below. And now it's just 2 remaining attackers to fend off this Mute. He's on a roll. He's on a mission. He's hunting everyone down. It's his namesake. He has to be careful of Steno. Tucked in on the left, though. Doesn't know where this Twitch is lurking about, and who would expect this spot to be chosen. Steno waiting patiently, not giving any movement away, not making a sound, not moving a muscle. The Mute will walk out, expose their back, and Steno will secure the round for Machine Soldiers.
A beautiful placement, just positioning there from Steno, and trigger discipline more though. He could have pushed out there, but with the amount of health that Steno had, that was well played there. And the defense from both of these sides are falling apart in this game, Golu. I mean, that's 2 rounds in a row that the Burnham game have lost here. So will they go to, I was going to say, will they go to bottom floor, but we actually see the site here is kitchen dining. So we're not going to go to a bottom floor for the first half here, Golu. Yet again, for both these teams, do they like bottom floor? Or do they just hate it?
I don't know.
I mean,
it's an interesting one. I'm not quite sure what to make of it. I guess both teams just feeling more comfortable on other sites.
maybe.
Nothing wrong with that. No, they're just choosing to go elsewhere. But I think what's more interesting is this dining site being picked out, right? Habana's
I
off
like
the board.
dining.
Habana's off the board. And I think dining was a really popular site until that Habana rework, right? When you could start shooting 2x carries at a time, it shut down your ability to impact trick, and that was what made shower holds so powerful, right? You'd even see teams investing 6 impact grenades. They'd have a rotating schedule. You'd see things like a Maestro, a Melusi, and a Rook.
Yeah.
Rook was being brought out for this, right? Where they just throw him in shower, and he'd just throw 2 impact grenades and then go do whatever else he needed to. The next person would come in and take over, because that's how important that room is to an assault onto dining. Now, there are new ways of kind of taking that space. You'll see Mavericks be implemented, but again, Maverick not on the table. Heavy, your only form of hard breach. They can't even go for the thermite trip.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is the one time I would expect Heavy to go thermite. Would be for this site, for the thermite trick that we do see onto that wall, but they haven't actually fully reinforced that wall. They've opened up, I think it's the right side of that single wall there. Yeah, the right side of that single wall, just a peek on here. So I'm thinking they're playing long angles. Critical nearly getting grenaded for the 2nd time in a row here. Adrian taking quite a bit of damage there. That was from P13 on this long angle in Dorm. So they're definitely playing this as a death angle here. Nitro coming out, but won't do anything as he gets shot. So Critical's in a very bad position here. Hunter gets the first kill onto Heavy. Hunter gets a kill onto Steno. What are they doing? They're just pushing around the outside of Small Tower here.
Feeding kills into a Mai is one way to lose a round. Critical's position holding on tight. There's no NESs. I'm not quite sure how this shield hasn't been dealt with a little bit sooner. You still got, well, both those frag grenades used up by the sledge, but still got 4 more on the pockets of your 2 teammates that are left alive. P13 now choosing to rotate out of Master Bedroom. His job is done. He's caused some presence. He's caused some damage. Zarok lands the shots onto Lemons. That's finally the sledge off the table. Adrian downstairs, making his way towards White, looking to see if they can pinch on any players downstairs. Creeds is the first to fall. Creeds finds a double kill. P13 and Hunter out of play. Have to be careful of Small Tower, though. This is actually 2 of the defenders inside of Small Tower. This is a little bit of an unusual situation. Adrian lands the shots onto Spliz. That's 1 going down. With no more adrenal surges, this Finker is in a very compromising health. Still now just waiting. Critical, watching for the doorway. The drone information is out now, Pyro. They know where they're looking.
Yeah, but do you see where the diffuser's down? I think that is why they're holding onto this Small Tower. If Creed peeks out here, he could get killed. No, the grenade comes out. Critical takes a tiny sliver of health there. He's going to go for another one here. He can't push this too wide here. In fact, he's going to go for the other push it. Ooh, how close was that to a headshot there? Adrian just missing out. They're so low. Healths are almost even here, but Critical's holding on for this diffuser for dear life. It's all up to Adrian and Creeds. Creeds is going to actually push back outside and actually see if Critical will get the kill as he's pushing around here. He's going to slow peek. He does see the angle. The actual, what was that? he just got saved by the railings there. Adrian's taking down, trying to get the kill onto Critical, but he's rotating towards back of sight.
Well,
Zarok gets the kill. Beautiful there. Carry on.
Creed's last alive, can't quite get the job done. Swapped to the SMG-11 though, which is interesting, just changing up the weapon variety, make sure you get a kill with everything, and
Yep.
that's the first round Laburnum Gaming have found their defensive side of things, and it was a weird one.
Can I just say something, actually?
Please be my guest.
Every attacking round that has been won has been either on the top floor or the bottom floor. The only defensive rounds won in this game, that's been 2, have been on the meeting kitchen and the kitchen dining sites. So
It was basement.
What would you say?
One.
Was it basement? Actually, no, it was basement, wasn't it? Yeah, it was basement. I very much read that wrong. That is my note taking. That is very poor there. But
happens to the best of us.
I'm not the best, so talking about defensive rounds though, Golu, as I just absolutely whiffed my talking point there. Meeting and kitchen. So this is the round that obviously when Machine Soldiers won defense, you would say it was kind of a throw. To some degree.
Yeah.
It was hard. It's hard to predict that sort of round because there were mistakes on both sides.
I think Machine Soldier's attempt at holding this could have gone a little bit better. They had that 5 versus 3 advantage the first time around, and they weren't able to quite capitalize on that man count. They gave a little bit too much respect to their opponent. But from what we've seen from Laburnum Gaming so far, especially with how kind of aggressive Critical's been playing in these isolated positions where he's just taking on the world, I doubt that will be the case. Hunter lands the first shot onto Adrian. Finker off the board so early on, and that is not going to help this assault.
Top frag on the side of Machine Soldiers as well. 13 and 8 from Adrian. They need Machine Soldiers' side from attacking here. They need their other teammates here to start stepping up. You've got Steno, who's 7 and 7, and Creed's on 6 and 7, who you would say were the people who need to step up. But Golu, can I just say something about defense? The Clash. Are you actually playing? Are you Spills right now? Am I casting with some other guy?
No, don't worry. I would never betray the casting duo like that. But no, I do like to see the Clash on the table. It'd be interesting to see how they make use of this, as well, so far they haven't had too much to worry about. Since Hunter finding that first pick, the attack has become a little bit slower. They want to overexpose themselves, and as I say that, Hunter lands a beautiful shot onto Creed through this open wall, and that will put the Yana out of action for the round. Lemon's able to find a frag back in their favor. Hunter off the board. That's the only damage dealer in the round so far for the defense out of action. Steno coming in the flank, actually going to be rewarded with a pick onto Critical. Able to shut down the Banshee. The proximity alarm will go off, and he knows now if he walks through it again, it will start to beep. The defenders know where they are. P13 lands the shots onto Lemons. That's the Osa off the table. The Steno, he's worked his way all the way round into Kitchen. He has the Clash to contend with. The shield going to make it nigh impossible for him to land these shots onto the defenders behind him. But in the 3 versus 2, this is a potential opportunity for Heavy to get involved in the action. He knows where one of them is. He can see the bandit. Not the bandit, sorry. Is that the Jaeger? Bopping around. He's able to punish him. Zarok shuts down Steno, though. And now in a 1 versus 2, he has to land the shots onto the Wamai. But Zarok, his aim is true, and he'll find the round. He'll find the first map for his team.
Clash was such an influential player that round. Doing the damage, using it as intel there. I think very, very good use of Clash there. And can I say Hunter as well? A beautiful
Brilliant.
2k to start off that round. He did get traded 10 seconds later. And obviously Steno, we have to give props to Steno there for that flank of a sentry, just managing to get around and position himself in the correct position to get 2 free kills there.
Yeah.
So it was a tough last round, but well deserved there for Laburnum Gaming and the first map on the board.
Yeah, and more importantly, they've taken away their opponent's map choice, right?
Yep.
It was Machine Soldiers who chose to take us to Oregon, and by losing that, you now walk into, I mean, you would say the favoured ground,
The
right?
rat's
The
nest, you could
favoured
say.
ground for Laburnum Gaming now going into their map. And if they've chosen Theme Park, that means they're ready to play it. And we spoke to Yuno last week on the podcast.
Yeah.
They have some interesting choices on their maps, but we're not going to jump into that just yet. We're going to jump to a short 5-minute break just to give everyone a chance to cool off before we jump into the last map of the evening, Theme Park. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Talent League stream. It is me, Golum Molu. I am joined by, boom, 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 you guessed it, Pyro.
Hey.
Thank you for that wonderful Pyro. And
I know,
you know
I
what?
know.
We've been enjoying the games tonight so far. Our minor league game, which Goldinis were able to win 7-4. And more importantly, just now, Laburnum Gaming took away Machine Soldiers' map pick of Oregon 7-3. And now they get to move on to their home ground, you could say. It's their map pick of Theme
Yep.
Park.
Oof, looking forward to this one, Golu. First time in Talent League Season 7, and what a belter it will be.
Yeah, Theme
I'm
Park's an
looking forward
interesting
to
one.
some good strats.
Because
Good strats.
there's a lot of sites are very strong for the defenders, right? They have a lot of options to choose from. The two top floor sites often are played kind of interchangeably, right? Where teams will extend from one into the other and vice versa. And also that throne, which is a very historically defender-sided site that both these teams, I'm sure, will utilize well.
What about Drug Lab? What's your stigma on Drug Lab here, Golu? Because I've seen a lot of teams when I have casted it play Drug Lab instead of that throne.
Sure. And here's what I'd say. I'd say those teams are choosing suboptimal bomb sites. Because the problem with Drug Lab is that it's isolated on the corner of the map, right? It's very easy for the attackers to take map control around you and then just pincer you into Drug Lab. I mean, look, a lot of the ways that people play that bomb site is by extending into Throne anyways, and it's just easier to hold onto Throne itself rather than giving this other bit of space that you need to defend.
And you got, remember, Cafe as vertical onto that
Yeah.
site, and that's literally one room in. You take Cafe so easily when playing on Theme Park. So
Esport Player of the Year last year was Virtue shooting the feet of Breed A's he tried to plant, right?
let's not talk about that. That was
site.
that stirred up quite a mess. That did.
Yeah, that definitely stirred up a lot of mess.
Let's hope for some better plays than that. Let's say.
What do you mean? It was Player of the Year. That's a great play.
Player of the Year, but you know what I mean. You know. Oh, Van's already out here. We've missed out for them. And just for a recap, if you guys didn't see that, it is Thatcher, Buck, Valkyrie, and Mirror. Buck's one I haven't really seen before here, but I can understand why. There's quite a lot of vertical play on this map.
Yeah, I mean, it's more that you don't want to get hit from below as well, right, when you're standing around, but I still think it's a bit of an interesting one. I personally wouldn't have expected it to be taken away. You still got Sledge, but it does mean that, like you say, they don't want to get hit from below. And we'll just see how it plays out. But the defensive ban's a lot more standard, both Mirror and Valkyrie very scary to come up against. The defensive setup, choosing to go to the bunks and daycare, and well, that's fair enough, you know?
Yep.
It's reinforcing it up, it's a popular site.
I think it's actually the third site I would play. I prefer that sort of waiting room and that throne side first. It's just because I have some good strats, especially when playing on ranked, when I can actually use the new operator. But
what your one way peak.
Yeah, that
That's
one way
the
peak.
strategy.
Remember
Just a
Lucy and
one-way
Goyo.
peak. That is
One way peak. That is the entire strategy. You pick Goyo, you pick Lucy. It's a godsend. But talking about this game, because unfortunately we can't play that operator in comp, I'm expecting them to hold towards cash area here to prevent them from pushing from that waiting room side. This is kind of the same as sort of maps such as Villa, where you push from the opposite side.
Yeah, you want to take that horizontal control just because it gives you a little bit more space to play around. If you try and take this site from Cafe and Arcade Window, you haven't got much space to stand. Hunter going to be leading the charge, droning in, just trying to see who's playing around. Lemons and Adrian are going to be the two roamers that are lurking around. Got to be careful of the Rooney playing on the staircase as well. That's Creed's looking to get a little bit excited early on into this map.
Yeah, just trying to peek on, getting rid of that player playing towards that dragon sided here. But they have got cash control, and we do see them putting off that rotate there towards that office side, so giving up quite a lot of control very quickly. I think actually Machine Soldiers have actually rotated completely back towards that west side of the building here, so giving it all that control to push into waiting and start putting pressure and using critical here with this Cali, who I didn't actually realise was in this lineup until now. You can actually hold such a long angle from that rappel there, all the way towards that double door.
I think this is one of the maps where Carly has a little bit more play opportunity, and that's not because her gun's brilliant, because it's still not great, but just because the Lance can be a very useful tool, especially when Thatcher's off the board for removing these mute jammers, removing potential bandit batteries, because there's not a lot of soft floor to play around with underneath. So we're going to have to see how Ace is going to get this wall open, checking if it's muted first, because you don't want to blow up your own gadget. Can he get the Ace charges down on the wall? Yep, he can, down in time. That will make the Ace gadget, it will go off, and it will make it a little bit harder to hold on tight. Lemons finds Hunter, though, playing around the breach. That's the sledge down for the count. Lows that's their frag grenades, which can be quite impactful, but Zarok quickly able to refrag. He's already taken this control inside of waiting. 50 seconds now for the attack to play around with, and they have their opening into sight. They've got to be careful of Creeds as he lurks into break room. The flank being watched by Steno. Yellow stairs are not going to be taken today by the attack, and the Surreal Gate on waiting reactivated once again.
I mean, a 4 versus 3 situation here. Laburnum Gaming are not looking too confident here. The Immunity Gate has been put back up. All they've got here. Ooh, a beautiful kill there from Zarok onto Steno. And that is the player who really popped off Machine Soldiers last game here. P13 and the side of Laburnum Gaming are going to be looking in to push into the site. Callie nearly getting a one-tap there onto that smoke player, but the player goes down, and that's Zarok from the angle on the white stairs here. It's all starting to fall apart here. Machine Soldiers have just got too many angles. That Laburnum game, you have to watch it. Just playing behind that B bomb, you're not going to be able to do anything. Look at the health of the players here. P13 just get a kill, but Creed's refrags here. And the Callie's just not even going to bother to push here. You've only got that SMG really that you can use.
They just choked down. They couldn't find a way once they had that breach opened on up to pressure in towards the defense. And I think a big thing for me here is that we saw no attempt to opening up the office wall onto top yellow. If you give that space to one of your players to play around as the attack, right, you deny so much rotation. Steno can't play nearly as aggressively on top of white stairs or yellow stairs because, well, I mean, he'll still get that pick on the rotating sledge, right? He'll still get that frag, but the rest he can't find because he can't walk up as freely. And it also enables you to pressure that smoke from another angle as well, where they can't contest onto the waiting double door. Still, you know what? You've got to give credit to Machine Soldiers. They played their positions very well. They waited very patiently for the attack to push in, and, well, ultimately, the attack never made that move into the site. Doesn't matter. You still win as the defense.
You know what I see here, actually? There's no Jaeger presence on the side of Machine Soldiers here. They have the Cali, they have the Mute. But as you normally see when you play this map in comp and in ranked, you can grenade over the top. And if you don't have that Jaeger, then all this utility you're putting on the walls can be burnt so easily here, Golu.
Yeah, it definitely becomes a little bit easier to deal with as the attacker, because it's relying on either tricking or good place of your mute charges. It looks like Adrian's actually invested both of these claws onto the wall at the bottom of yellow stairs. That's interesting because, well, there's two kind of methods for attacking onto throne. The first of which is that you take control of maintenance and gone, and you open up that maintenance wall behind the throne. The other alternative route is you open up yellow because it gives you a little bit more security playing from these long angles you can hold from the yellow stairs itself or from the breach, and you can get into some pretty comfortable planting positions. Which one is it going to be that Laburnum Gaming go for? Well, first of all, they need to clear upstairs, and it's Creeds on the roam as well as Steno.
Creeds and Steno can put such a massive waste of time here on this top floor. You need this so you can stop any of that vertical play in the CCTV area. I think it's actually called security room in my head. That stops you from pushing into maintenance and just puts that extra bit of pressure. So they have taken top floor here at Laburnum Gaming. They have got Nomad of Zarok, who's going to be cutting off any sort of rotations here. And they can start now to push down towards the site and just start to get kills here. Is that going to be a Nitro? No. There's no Nitro action at the moment being popped out here. No, the Nitro kill just came out from Lemons onto Critical. And that is the Jackal gone off the board. So Steno is in even more of a bigger power position here.
Well, it definitely makes it a little bit harder to clear him out. Those feet can't be picked up by Critical anymore. Spliz still has a potential angle here, waiting to see if anyone crosses by top yellow, but for the time being, the remaining defenders upstairs are just playing patiently. They're waiting out the clock as a second Nitro Cell comes very close to landing onto Hunter, but not quite close enough for Adrian's liking. The floor above him being completely ripped apart. This is the signal for Steno to start to make his advancements, to start to make a move. He's looking. Maybe punch a hole in the wall, see if he can be just rewarded with a kill. Maybe someone will spray into it. But the pick, Zarok swings. He knows exactly where Steno is. That melee ended up giving this Vigil's position away and will be punished by the Nomad. And now, 50 seconds on the clock. None of these walls opened up. The defense are going to hold on tight. Zarok trying to make a move downstairs towards barrels.
I think the fact that it took 2 minutes to take top floor control has really hurt the side of Laburnum Gaming here. They've still got players towards Drug Lab, which they have to clear. They are going to go for that yellow wall, as you did talk about earlier, but they have to be careful of the player playing towards Cooker, and obviously that flanker who's playing around Drug Lab, as he can get the flank off. We're going to see an actual engagement come out here, and the P13 gets the kill onto Creeds. It's now a 4 versus 3 situation inside of Laburnum Gaming here. Adrian gets a kill onto Zarok, make that a 3 versus 3 situation with 12 seconds left. It's all coming to this last position. There's one in split and there's one in deep armory here. P13's going to get the diffuser down. There is a cover coming in from that yellow stairs. He does whip his shots. The diffuser's going down. Adrian gets a double kill. Nearly make that a triple kill, and there's just not enough time there for the side of Laburnum Gaming. Machine Soldiers gets the victory on defense on throne.
The cover just wasn't good enough. That's ultimately why they lost. They couldn't cover that diffuser going down. There was Maestro on that camera as well, which is going to cause more problems. But if you can stick that diffuser as the ace, maybe you can get it down just in time. But alas, it was not to be. Adrian pouring in a wonderful, beautiful effort there just to make sure he doesn't give that up. And the swing ultimately pays off.
It was definitely that cover there. I actually think Laburnum Gaming could have got that victory if the cover was better there. I think it just managed to hit on the reinforced wall, which prevented the easy kill there, Golu. So a bit unfortunate, but we are going to the second top floor site for this rotation here, for the first rotation, and it's actually the site I kind of actually prefer this site over any others. I like how you can rotate. I like how you can play a lot of horizontal play.
So it's extending out into the dorms, into daycare that you're a fan of.
Yeah.
Lovely. Anything you might question here then? You know, there's not too many shields in play. Sometimes you might see a couple more of those come into play. A frost maybe. What are you looking at on your list when you're going? Okay, this is how we're holding office. We got what are the checks?
Well, you need at least 2 players playing towards that daycare side, but the most important thing is holding cash. You can't get rushed from cash side. If they take cash control, if they take top dragon control, they can push in really easy and squeeze off your rotates. Especially if they get that long angle into security.
We'll have to see how Laburnum Gaming choose to make good use of this Monty, or if they make good use of this Monty, I should say. Really, that's not a guarantee.
When they
choosing to take control of cash first of all. Feet holes will have to be something they're careful of. The Malusi playing around instead of waiting will get the option playing this long angle to maybe catch their opponent off guard. Just waiting to see who walks towards this doorway. Steno on the flank actually going to be able to. He had an opportunity to shoot this Monty here.
You could have shot that.
Interesting why he chose not to take it. The drone being thrown in just to provide some more information. Critical in a very difficult spot here is that Nitro Cell's going to bring in very little HP. The smoke canister will finish him off, actually. Oh dear, that's unfortunate. You lost out early on, and Steno lands the shots onto Spliz behind him as well. And things are looking just that little bit more difficult for Laburnum Gaming now as, well, they're 2 members down. The Finker and the Monty. Still fighting for the balcony.
It's not looking very good with that Monty pick. You either needed to push in towards cash there, as we were talking about, and I'm actually correct with what Machine Soldiers did there. A very strong cash hold here. It's a pivotal point here. Hunter's just going to rush in, but does he see the player of Steno pushing in close? They're going to take a lot of damage here. And the actual drop shot from Hunter gets the kill onto Steno. But look at Hunter's health, Golu. He's so low that even one shot from a pistol or the MP5 could get the kill here. Adrian is down from that flank there. Zarok gets the beautiful kill there. Hunter actually gets a kill onto Lemon. So it's now a 3 versus 2 situation. But Heavy is taking up the position that Steno was in. He gets the kill onto Hunter, but takes a lot of damage that he really shouldn't have took at that position there.
Oh, Creed still has the shield, which he can play around the 2 remaining attackers, both inside of control room. Some early damage. Zarok and Creed's changing bullets back and forth. Neither enough to land a kill on their target. Be careful, the Nomad now creeping up the waiting corridor. Heavy with the SMG-11 in hand lands the headshot. That makes their job just a little bit easier to accomplish now, as P13, the last alive, waiting inside a control room to see what he can find. 26 seconds left. He has full HP. Both of his targets are quite low on theirs. But he's going to rotate all the way around to the bathroom. Choose to go into office. Has to be careful of these waiting room angles that could be held. The doorway on your left is the first target. The Banshee will give away your location. 9 seconds left. 7 of those are going to be used to invest on that plant. As it starts to go down, that's going to be the cue for both of these defenders to rush on in. They're actually going to hold it. Let him see if he can stick it. But Creed's from the rotate. When he realizes he's not getting off that diffuser, will be the one to find the kill.
Because we all know, Golo, we all know this. Pros do not fake. And I think in that position, there's nothing that P13 could have done there. It was a one versus 2 situation. Yes, he had the health advantage. So if I was P13, I think I actually would have gone for the frags there. The only difficult position there is you see the horizontal rotate actually playing in very well for machine soldiers, as they're able to sort of juke the attacker's side there, to say, oh, I could be any position on the west side of this building here. How are you going to find me in time? I could just hide with 10 seconds left. And you've got to be forced to go for that plan.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of freedom that's offered up to them, right? And they played very well around that. Laburnum Gaming now, kind of on the opposite end of what happened in our first map, which is interesting. Each dominating the others. But Machine Soldiers, 3 rounds up, now returning to their favoured site and back up to this daycare room, and again, holding it nigh identically, because guess what? It worked out very well for them before, and why change it?
Exactly. I mean, the same sort of thing. You extension, vertical, hold, rotate, get back at that rotate off towards top left, top yellow. If you were Laburnum Gaming here, I think I would have gone with your advice, which is open up that yellow, the right side yellow wall, which you see them reinforcing now, is it gives an extra layer of depth to your attack. You push on that. You don't have to force yourself through the breach or through the double door, as you were saying, because breach is quite hard to get. I don't think it will be hard this round, though, with the Maverick and with the Ace coming out.
Yeah, and this Maverick will enable them to open up the breach a little bit quicker as well. Yana already in, hunting down Creeds. This is a Gemini, so it will quickly be shut down, but still putting a little bit of panic in the step of the Malusi, who's now fallen all the way back around the cafe. Back and waiting, just doing laps of the map here, you know, running it everywhere.
He's trying to get his steps in here. He's one of these middle-aged ladies trying to get their steps in for their fitness, you know. We do see Steno hit.
Do you know something interesting about that? You know the whole 10,000 steps thing?
Yeah.
You know that there's no science behind that. It's just like a marketing ploy.
Oh, yeah, I know. I don't
so
know
it's interesting. I mean, obviously, walking's good for your health. I'm not saying don't walk. But 10,000 steps specifically is a bit of a fake.
No,
Nice
blow
try.
it up.
Not gonna get it right. He's not gonna blow it up. He'll blow it up the moment he leaves. Just watch. Oh, never mind.
Boom!
He gets him. Zeno finds the first pick. Zarek off the table. Flashbang's gone. No more burn. But the breach is opening. That's one good news for Laburnum. Is they can start to give themselves this option in. Still no opening at the top of yellow for them, which, well, might see them change. Critical getting injured out, though. Heavy finds the shots onto him. Now, it's a little bit more difficult. Oh, trying to sail it through. Not quite.
Oh, and got shot. That was a bit unfortunate there. But look at this breach, though. I feel actually really bad for Laburnum Gaming there, as the breach is very much messed up. And you see the positions that Machine Soldiers are holding. You've got one in Cafe, one inside. Lemon Zesty gets a double kill. Where was that from? What a double kill. He's just rotating around the site. Will he get the triple? No. Critical does get the final kill onto Lemon, but look at Critical's health here. It's a 4 versus 2 situation. Hunter's very low, but he's actually towards in this corridor. He gets the kill onto Heavy here. Make that a 2 versus 2, make that a 2 versus 1, and it's all over there. Machine Soldiers gets the 4th round in a row.
Yeah, things are starting to look quite one-sided now, and I mean, that's not the end of the world, you know, that can happen, but you need to find a way to break this spree that Machine Soldiers are having on defense, and to do so, they're going to be calling in the tactical timeout, give themselves a little bit of time to gather their thoughts and maybe figure out how they're going to break this bunker hold. But look, Pyro, we saw the last round on Throne and Armory. What do you think they're saying right now? What do you think they're highlighting as the weaknesses of their attack so far? What do they need to change?
I actually think that army attack was actually quite good last round. It all came down to that amazing play from the Cade, and that whiff shot on the plant watch there. I think that was the only thing that went wrong on that army throne move. They got top floor quite quickly, but they did leave breach a little bit too late. I think that is my only criticism there of Laburnum Gaming, is they're leaving their pushes way too late. If you know what I mean, it's
I
it's
think
hard.
they took half of the top floor quickly, right? They took up to waiting. But there was still
Half's
Steno
not
lurking
full.
around. There was still Steno lurking around on that vigil till very late into the round. Well, it was 50 seconds left that we finally saw Zarok clear all the way to Arcade. Whether we see that happen again, I don't know. I can't say. But, I mean, if they're able to take that control of Office, open up the floor and remove these Cade claws once again, I think they'll be fine. But again, like you hit the nail on the head. It's getting that breach open as early as possible, because by the time they had it open, they were forced to just commit.
Rush it.
There was 20 seconds left on the round. You can't afford to make any mistakes. You can't afford to get off the diffuser when that timer starts going red. And that's what they needed to do. Give them another 20 seconds. They might be able to make something of that round.
Even 10. I think it was just setting up that crossfire to watch that split where the Cade actually pushed out on that time would have actually made a difference in that round. But we do see Machine Soldiers going to the bottom floor site, as we just discussed. They're the similar sort of setup where we see with 3 on the bottom floor site and 2 towards the top floor. We do see the similar sort of operators coming out as before, don't we, Golu? Maestro.
Yeah, they'll be using this Cade. I like how the Cade has kind of evolved on this map.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically on Throne, where people have started to realize, rather than just throwing them all around the map, you can get some really cheeky spots, like underneath the surface by Furnace here, just to like make sure that they're not going to get it off vertical. If they want to get that
in a
claw,
desk,
they're going to have to place that grenade very carefully as well, because you hug it in against the side, and if you bounce that grenade too far in, it goes under the surface at the back of the wall, and that line of sight onto the claw is no longer there. Very cheeky little placement. Preet getting a little bit cheeky himself there, though, as he finds Zarok, and that's the one pick off. Spliz able to land the retaliation refrag back in their favor, but they lose the Nomad, and more importantly, those air jabs, which can be very helpful at securing off parts of the map that you want to roam across. Hunter, though, accelerating their lead as he takes Adrian out on the vertical, the nade not quite landing on its spot, and Thunderbird somehow surviving. Steno dodging like Neo the bullets as they're coming in, and he's able to escape once again. No Spliz punishing him for this time. And well, 3 versus 2 for the attack. This is accelerating a lot faster than we've seen in the past.
Yeah, it's definitely not within that last sort of minute that we've seen, but now they can start to get vertical play. Although they did lose their sledge player in that engagement, I actually don't know why Steno stopped there. He stopped for a moment, didn't he? He actually got killed by that LMG. But 3 versus 2 situation, all of them on full health, and Lemons is actually going to try and hit the flank here. You see where both the players are, and he sees the double claymore there, which is not a very sight. It's a sight for sore eyes, I could say there. You don't want to see that double what am I saying, claymore on the top of the dragon stairs there.
Yeah, now it's just about patience, right? The Maestro's been droned out, but I don't think the way he's leaning, he can't actually see it himself. No grenades to potentially be popped in. You've got that Finker, could do it, but I don't think they quite have the angles up above. Looks like they're looking to get this breach open on up. Lemon's in a little bit of a compromised position as well. The drops coming in, the stuns coming in to push this Maestro out of position. He's actually managed to dodge away from Critical, the Banshee, giving away the Hibana's position inside a split. He doesn't quite know where this Maestro's lurking around. The impact grenade to try and feel out for their opponent is coming through as they're just waiting to see what comes on, but the long angle being held by Spliz from Dragon Doorway is actually what's going to get the most of the damage done. Lemon still playing around, actually finds Critical in the back. Spliz will trade him out though. Finker using the Kona Station to bring themselves back up. P13 finds that final kill by walking through the breach. What a round there from the attack, and well, they found good early kills, and they just capitalized, put a lot of pressure on site, and won the round.
I think Machine Soldiers definitely got a bit too aggressive on that top floor hold there. They got the early pick, but immediately got traded off when peeking that hole, which was unnecessary to say at most. You don't really need to be peeking that much. You're letting it get to your head. Don't allow it to go to a 4-2. You need to hit a 5-1 here. Put the pressure, put the ball in Laburnum's court here. You need to put them on the ball when they go into defensive side, because this map, I would say, should be a 4-2 split here. You want to look for a 4-2. You've got 3 amazing sites on defense that you can go to at Golu, so you should realistically be winning 4-2 on defense here.
Well, they're going to choose to return to Throne Armory, feeling that maybe the reason they lost was from those aggressive and early picks that they lost out. I mean, you had what? Creed's got caught out by Spliz. You had Adrian miss the Nitro Cell and then get caught out through the hole that he just created by the sledge. And Steno obviously caught out trying to fall back to the site. Doesn't help your case.
Especially with the amount of aggressive plays that you did do. At least they got 2 kills for it, but that last sort of kill was... I think Steno's kill was a little bit unnecessary. He turned his back to a softball and got instantly deleted off of this planet. But you see a more conservative playstyle coming out from Machine Soldiers here. You've got Creeds in this control room and Steno lurking towards those yellow corridor, yellow stairs area. He's actually playing bar, which is going to be... I'm not too sure why he's pushing that way. Maybe a late game flank up towards top of arcade.
Yeah, well, he's just lurking around, you know, causing problems. They don't want to give these early picks upstairs once again, which is why there's no one upstairs. Creed's lurking around the yellow stairs, could be the only one to take that top floor action. But for the time being, they're happy to let the attack drone themselves in and take space as they feel it comfortably. Still always got to be careful. Creed's he's a cheeky one. He knows what he's up to. There's always a plan behind the man. And, well, the Nitro Cell's waiting around upstairs and waiting once again for as soon as this sledge starts to hit the floor, well, that will go boom. That will try and catch him out. So far, though, not starting off, and it's actually blown a little bit early there, Pyro.
Bit unfortunate there. Now they have a vertical angle onto Adrian here. The Nitro comes up. That could be a free kill there. Oh. That's a beautiful kill onto Hunter, and that's your sledge off the board, as you were talking about. So it actually went in the favour of Machine Soldiers there in a kind of a weird and wacky way there, Golu.
Yeah, well, stranger twists of fate have happened, and now Zarok looking to use what little holes the sledge was able to accomplish before his untimely demise to see if he can spot out this Cade. Ooh, both times he's looked away at just the wrong second to land this kill. Adrian dodging away, almost as if it was destined for him to stay alive. Still playing around Furnace, but now the attack looking to collapse onto Drugs Lab. As Heavy takes some damage inside of sight, he'll fall back to a Kona station. It's actually Steno who needs to be careful as Creeds falls to critical. He starts to put a little bit more pressure on the Thunderbird, swapping to Bearing 9 to take this close fight engagement. The stun grenade coming over the top, sprays from the spear, giving away. He's actually pushed through the sun and found the kill. Steno now looking to make it back to sight, looking to see if he can find a pick onto anyone inside of arcade. It's a lot of damage. He's actually going to circle back around, but into the waiting arms of P13. 35 seconds left on the clock, though, Pyro. This is dangerously close for the defense, for the attack. Once again, the timer ticking away as they're trying to find a way into sight. Smoke canisters starting to pop off. It's looking very difficult for them to get in.
They've got no sort of wall here. They haven't got any of the walls open. You look at the timer, 20 seconds left. They're going to have to force themselves through split door here, Golu. There's no other option. Adrian's going to be hitting there. There's still one more smoke canister coming up as they finally do get a wall open. But with 10 seconds left, Golu, there's not enough time here. A beautiful kill there from Zarok onto Lemons. It's all good starting to trade out here. 4 seconds left. It's a 1 versus 1 situation. It's Spills versus Adrian here. And Adrian's just going to wait out the time. The pre-fire is just coming out at the wrong moment there. I think even 5, 6 seconds. 1 second. You literally need 1 second there and you would have got the kill.
He just didn't know. He didn't know that was where Adrian was playing, and that was so critical, especially with, like you say, the time hitting just so low. Despite getting that breach opened up, they couldn't get in. They just couldn't make it. They couldn't make it work, and Zarok putting in a tremendous shift to try and get that space behind Throne cleared up, but they lost their diffuser carrier. They lost him, and they couldn't get that plant down.
Do you know what I was actually gonna criticize MS there. Steno, why are you being that aggressive? I mean, it worked out for him onto the, was it Hibana who pushed him with the flashes with the Bearing 9, yeah? And then he pushed away, all the way around towards Drug Side Lab, and just sprints into the enemy, Golu. I actually had my hands in my face there. I was like, oh no, Steno, what are you doing?
He's looking for those aggressive plays, right? He's looking
He
to just
is.
get some damage
It's
dealt off and
working.
continue to whittle away the clock. Well, that's what's the big thing, right? Is look how low that time got. If Steno walks back to site, they're able to get that breach open much sooner. And yes, you have an extra body inside of sight to maybe help out with the execute coming in. But ultimately, getting the kill onto the Hibana, stalling out the time down to 30 seconds is much, much more valuable for the defense there. Even if you didn't get that pick onto Hibana, it's still a good use of time to waste it from the attackers. And now, well, Machine Soldiers, they'll have to try and do what Laburnum Gaming couldn't, which is win consistent attacks. They need 2 to take this map home. There are no draws. So if it's another 5-1 split, we'll have to play out some overtime and, well, if it goes to overtime, you better be hoping that you have that overtime of defense, because it's looking like a pretty high prospect of you winning if it is.
I mean, I think Theme Park is a very defensive-sided map. As Spills is gone, he was on cams there, going through behind that throne. You have to be careful from that drone hole. I think everyone knows about that drone hole, so just an unfortunate there. Spliz just being taken out on that Maestro, so no late game flanks here. No late game denial. All you've got is the Echo. Hunter taking a lot of damage from that window, just running back. No, he's going to take that gunfight. That could have been very risky, Golu.
He's going to lean into it once again, but ultimately be his teammate in Critical who's the next to fall. Adrian putting the pedal to the floor there and just continuing to take as much space as they possibly can, using this Flores to try and clear a bit more space. As well, Creed's going to be gifted P13, who walks straight up to the window at just the right time for the Twitch to collect the freebies, collect the kills, and now Zarok and Hunter, well, you wouldn't fancy their chances in the 2 versus 4.
Well,
Able to find Steno out, and now they have to look for their next. Reach opened on up, gives a lot of lines of sight to the attackers to try and take, and Hunter, the only one behind Throne, which means if he falls, well, that plant can go down somewhat comfortably. So the Thermite looking to make sure there's no camera watching as they are looking to overload the site here, Pyro.
Oh, what a kill from Hunter there. Onto Adrian, but the flashes are coming out, and Hunter's just way too low. Hunter gets a triple kill. Lissassi gets a team kill! What has happened there? What? What, Golu? Instrumental odds there, and Laburnum Gaming come away with the victory there from nothing.
From a 2 versus 5.
I'm stunned.
How?
I'm stunned.
That was your match point.
That was your match point.
You literally... There's a thing, there's a saying, slipping through your fingers. Right?
Yeah.
It didn't
It's like
sand.
sand. It's like sand.
They firmly... No, it wasn't even like that. They firmly had it in their grasp, and just for no reason, just smoke bombed it to the ground. I don't know how that happens, but so much credit has to go to Zarok and Hunter in that position, just playing around every bit of cover that they had to find those picks. Yes, they had the team kill in there, but that's still 4 that they found in a 2 versus 4 situation. Machine Soldiers, you've got to be a little bit cleaner than that.
I think the problem there was they all decided to push through that single door and that throne wall breach open, which was definitely the main sort of problem with that round, especially when you're 5-2 up. It's gonna be an issue, I could say, if you all push in the same position, because you can get lucky, in which Zarok and Hunter did do in that position. And can I just say, hats off to them.
Yeah, for sure.
Talking about this round, though, we need to... Will we see aggression from Laburnum Gaming? Is that's one thing I did write about, is there's so much aggression from Laburnum. They got them 3 picks off very early. They need to either play passive-aggressive. I think I'm sort of repeating myself here, Golo, about this aggressive style that both of these teams are playing.
Well, they are taking a lot of gunfights. Be interesting to see now what Steno make the jump. Still alive.
No, slap the top.
No, not quite. It's fallen. Never mind. Take 2. 1. Importantly, this is a Rotero drone down, right? You don't want to be losing out your utility to silly little things, and trying to make that jump is, is audacious. Adrian, carefully avoiding the spray coming in from Hunter on this yellow staircase. Now the Rotero drone successfully landing in its position. Not going to deny too much space to the Jaeger, and somehow Spliz on the pulse able to just run up behind the Finker and collect the freebie. Not quite sure how that happens, or how you don't hear them sprinting around, but ultimately a great pick for the side of Laburnum Gaming, who will take that advantage happily.
I mean, this early aggressive work from Spliz there is definitely working in their favour here. as we do see in a 5 versus 4 situation. A beautiful kill there from Hunter onto Creeds, make that a 5 versus 3 situation. And Laburnum Gaming have just got the ball in their court at this situation, using so much horizontal play. Oh, critical with that Scorpion, just missing shots there, causing P13 to be killed there. It's a 4 versus 3 situation. They have control now. Lemons gets a kill onto Zarek. It's a 3 versus 3 here, Golu.
Steno on very little HP, which means he has to be very careful. Heavy rotating over to join Lemons in office. He has the diffuser. He's the one that it counts, and Steno lands the shots onto Spliz, the opening in that wall, granting the Flores the perfect line of sight onto the head there. And now Critical and Hunter. The two, well, Hunter, he's used to trying to clutch up rounds. Critical's joining the crew for the first time here, though, and Jaeger holding a very long, very slight angle over towards this breach at the top of Yellow Stairs. Lemon's going to be the one to land the shots, though. It's all down to Critical, who swings onto Heavy, can't even find one. Gets the Lemons. That's the Maverick off the table, swinging around, but Heavy, diffuser in hand, chooses not to plant. He's going for the frags. He's feeling it today, and he lands the shots.
A beautiful kill there. I was a bit confused about that Maverick. He was just staring at him at one point. I swear they were just staring at each other through the wall for like 1 second. They'd be like, oh, how's your day been? Oh, I'm good. How are you? And then manages to get the kill there. And that is Machine Soldiers going up 6-2. And potentially, if they win this round, this will be a 1 point each, as it will be a 1-1 split for these two maps here today, Golu. So, it should be 7-2 at this point, though. 7-1, I should say, Golu, because that last round, not the round we just played, but the round before that, was definitely, should have been Machine Soldiers' round.
And you know what, they'll be kicking themselves a little bit for it, but now they are on match point, and they won't be too worried about the past, just about what's in store for them in the future. Looking forward, one more round they need to find out of the next 4. That's quite a cushion that they've worked up. And it's interesting, the defense have chosen to go for the drugs lab, and, well, it's going to be interesting to see how they can make this work. What extensions are they going to go for? They're playing them around upstairs, and you need that upstairs presence, because otherwise, like you mentioned before, that opening that you can make inside of Cafe, it's quite a bit of space inside of the storage that you can get for yourself as an attacker, and they do have the sledge on the board. Creed's changing that out for the Yana. I have to see how they can hold on to this site. It's interesting that we're seeing the Wamai here. I'm not quite sure what they're protecting that for. Perhaps trying to stall out general frag grenades. Yeah, well, it's not a shield though anymore, is it?
No, I was going to say the Vulcan gadget. Just if they put it on that window there, especially, it can definitely prevent any sort of rotate there. The Rotero drone being killed immediately. I don't think Steno's using these Rotero drones to its maximum potential here, Golu.
Well, I think it's just unfortunate when it gets shot out, right? And now he's just sending the other one in through the window, which is the one that makes more sense. You just jump it in and blow it up in midair.
Yeah, you see
that will be able to get the first of those Goyo charges. 3 more to find. Well, I'd say fine. It's not like that he's hunting them down specifically, but he's going to send another drone through this drone hole, right on top of Zarok. Ooh, a little bit damaged up onto Hunter, as they're trying to clear him out of this roam though, Jamie. A minute gone.
Yep.
And just trying to work away at these barrels players.
It's definitely, you have to push. If you're Machine Soldiers here, you either push through that window or you push into Throne. As Throne is a massive position, a massive power play position for this, as you can open up into Drug. Not into Drug, but into Blue, and then look into where this lab player is playing, where P13 is hunting. Oh, a beautiful shot there onto Hunter, as he just recklessly jumps down from top of Arcade here. And it is a 5 versus 4. The first pick there going on to Hunter. Such an influential player for Laburnum Gaming. Zarok is down by Steno there. Wait, Steno's inside! P13 gets a kill on Steno, and Lemons gets a kill onto Spills there. It's a 4 versus 2 situation here, Golu.
On the wall being opened on up, P13 has to be a little bit careful. Going to choose to go through the rotate, try and take on Bathroom to see if anyone walks into his line of sight. He'll be treated with a lovely pick onto Lemons. Drone also going in his favor. Critical and P13 changing up who their clutch buddies are. P13 lands a wonderful shot onto Creeds. That's the perk they were looking for. Critical finds Heavy, and now it's all down to Adrian. He wants to try and seal this deal, close out the map before it can start to slip away from them. Laburnum Gaming holding on for dear life, tossing out a frag grenade. It's going to be picked up. No, it's not. The Goyo forced to run out of their position. Adrian lands the shots onto Creeds. He's the last one. Critical. Can he find it? Yes, he does. He holds on tight. Laburnum Gaming are still in here. It's going to need at least one more round.
My God, what a round, Golu. That was such a back and forth. I mean, Steno was in sight. It was a 4 versus 2 situation. And Laburnum Gaming managed to get another clutch Golu. Another clutch of the century, I could say. That's twice. Oh my god. I can't live. I'm going to have an actual heart attack in a minute, Golu.
They're doing a great job at holding on in these dying seconds. I mean, P13 and Critical playing so well around the space between them to make sure that neither is caught off guard right until the end there, when Adrian was able to land the first of those 2 kills onto P13, but couldn't seal the deal. And now they get to change their sight up once again, and this is why you can never count Laburnum Gaming out. They never give up. Their mental is strong, you know? Machine Soldiers... Yep. They have the lead, and they still only need 1 more round, but Laburnum are going to force them as far as they can.
Yeah, and Laburnum Gaming obviously won this site last time they went here. So we're looking to see this similar sort of thing here, trying to get Laburnum Gaming back to a 6-6 situation. But as a reminder, Golu, they have to win every single round for this last half split here, which seems an almost, I wouldn't say impossible task, but you have to go to a site where you have a disadvantage of losing. I mean, last time it was daycare. This time it could be waiting. It could be anything. There's almost one site where you can't hold as well as the others.
Well, it's interesting what they're going for on this throne hold, right? You've got Critical on that castle. They're investing in a lot of roamers here. You've got the Vigil. You've got the Thorn, which is going to be very interesting to see how they use that, because, well, once you walk into the radius of that Razor Bloom, it will give your location away with the start of that detonation. If you're in the radius by the end of its tick, then you will be blown up, which is never ideal, Jamie. You know, being blown up is how you die. Heavy, though, already off the table. He's opened up barrels and gotten an injure, but it wasn't quite enough. Hunter on very little low HP for the rest of this round, but you know what? With the one headshot mechanic, like in Siege, you never count someone out. They're always
some people hate it, some people love it, some people hate it, and this time I bet Hunter's absolutely loving it. He is on 20 HP though, which is a slight worry here for the side of Cade, but he will retire back towards the site here. And Machine Soldiers have lost their hard breacher here. They've only got the Maverick, which is a very bad decision here. Spills here, I should say, Spliz here. I'm going to get that wrong all the time. He's just going to get denied by Creeds there. I'm pretty sure that was a wallbang at that point, Goli.
Yeah, I mean, they just knew where he was in barrels, right? And they're trying to pepper in some shots, put the pressure on him until something gives. And in the end, it was his life that he was giving up. Hunter, though, standing up on the height for the vertical angle down, drawing that line onto the head of Lemons is a big pick for them. They grab that man count back in their favor. That's both hard breachers off the table now. They have that barrels breach opened on up for them, but that is all they'll have to go off of other than these doorways. And, well, both the doorways into this site are positioned in some unenviable spots where you have to contest with some awkward angles as you walk on through. Zarok on this flank behind the Vigil, lurking around, looking to see if he might be able to sneak all the way around. Looks like he's going to go for yellow stairs, though.
It's Steno,
to see. Oh, it's Steno. Steno's the target. Very low HP. He's actually going to be able to escape away, but one HP to do so.
I was going to say, look at his health at this position. Adrian gets a kill onto Critical, Hunter gets back onto it. It's all popping off at this situation, or 2 versus 1. Make that 1 versus 1 is Adrian is just in sight at this point. It's all up to Zarok, who, if you remember back to it earlier, was lurking around that yellow area, but I believe he's gone back towards Dragon. Yes, he's on bottom Dragon here, and he can get the kill. He knows he's going to come through Drum here. But does Adrian know? It's all up to this. 18 seconds left. Diffuser has to go down. He's going to plant the diffuser here, but he must hear this. Zarok, all he needs to do is find this kill. The gun's going out. Adrian gets the kill, and Machine Soldiers win!
What?
I thought the Laburnum Gaming were going to come away with another clutch situation there. But Machine Soldiers get the victory, and that is it, Golu. 1-1 on the night.
Well, I had to say, this was not the result I was expecting coming into this. Yes, being on defense on Theme Park is a massive advantage, and Machine Soldiers did a brilliant job at shoring up every site that they choose to go to. Ultimately, they just played the better game here on Theme Park, and they stole each other's maps, Pyro. You see it happen. It's always an amusing one when it happens.
More often than not. Yeah. More often than you expect, really.
But there we go. That is I mean, I say Machine Soldiers, they played so well in their attacks. I love the way they were just playing off of each other for these frags, for these early picks, and they found them so reliably every time. They knew who they were looking for. The drone work to make sure that they found these roamers out. You saw it in the last round alone,
Yeah.
right? Creed's isolated in barrels. The breach was open, but they weren't letting him reach it.
What I actually liked about both of these maps, and especially this major game, was the aggressive plays. At sometimes it didn't work out for them, and I did criticize it quite a lot of times, but when it did happen, we had moments of absolute magic. Oh, that last game, that theme park game, was such a pleasure, Golu.
Yeah, and well, congratulations to both teams, I guess, because they've each drawn and collected a single point. For the standings, 7-3 on the first map, 7-3 on the second map, in the other favour. But before we leave you for tonight, we will throw very quickly to the schedule for the minor leagues. There is still one more game to be played this week. That will be tomorrow night at 6:45 CEST. And, well, that'll be between Guardians Alpha and Aura Esports. So make sure you're back then to make sure you don't miss out on any of the action for the final game. But you know what? It's been a lovely evening. We've been witness to some lovely games, some interesting maps. We saw Villa earlier this evening. Got to end on a theme park. It's always nice to see some variety. But I've got to say a massive thank you to both Rick and Morty, our wonderful observer, Time to Light, fantastic producer. And, well, I've been Golly Molly. And Pyro, you've been Pyro. And
Obviously.
obviously. And thank you to everyone who joined in and tuned in for today's stream. We'll catch you tomorrow. Have a good evening.